Welcome to another edition of the Aaron O Show. How's everybody today? Hopefully everybody's in a wonderful, phenomenal mood. I know I am. JJ, turn that frown upside down, JJ. Don't start. What can I say? Welcome. I'm not going to lie. I thought about taking this whole week off because I've been chilling. I've been sitting back. And also, I have not been paying much attention to what's been going on online. I've been doing other things, maintaining my sanity, right? But there are just some things, it just is what it is. Shout out to AL. He said he just left the gym. You're going to be on your own there, brother. I'm going to just hire you for security. Now, what's going on, bro? But yes, it's true. I've been chilling. But my ear, listen. Angela, thank you. No, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. My well-being is always, for the most part, it's always well managed. I do not let most things get to me. I compartmentalize very well. I don't have anger issues. I don't have problems with people in general. I know how to mind my business. And I know how to keep people away from me. So I'll be good. But I have a lot of thoughts. But before we get into the show today, I want to give a big shout out to my brother LeGarrette. Thank you so much for being a sponsor of the last show. I forgot what the last show was about, but I'm pretty sure it must have been pretty good show. So shout out to my brother LeGarrette. Very much appreciated. Constant supporter of the Aaron O Show, so we don't forget about you. But I like to bounce my thoughts off of people. I like to converse. It's what I enjoy. So maybe next week I'll take next week off because I don't think I'm gonna be able to do a show Saturday. I know you guys like shows on Saturday. Those are probably my most well put together shows just because I have a little bit more time to do it. But I'm going to be preoccupied this weekend more than normal. So I'm probably not going to have time to stream my show on Saturday. It is what it is. So I said, hey, it's Wednesday. I'm going to get it in. I'm going to get a show in, have a conversation, and go from there. All right. No, Dragonfly, I have a soul. It's just one of those souls that I don't know, maybe I'm a conflicted soul. I don't know what a soul, I don't even know if I can describe a soul. Let me just be honest with you. So I'm not going to even try, but I'm good. I'm good. I drink a lot of water. I make sure I constantly have fluids in my system. And I don't overly listen to idiots. You guys are often confused when you guys see me listening to people spew things that we all know is insane. I'm not retaining it. I'm actively listening because I want to be respectful of people. But at the same time, I know not to get overly invested in a lot of things, and I pick my spots. It's what I'm trying to show y'all, right? Pick your spots. Pick your spots, okay? That's very, very important. Now, last show, what we did? We did Fight Club. Yes, Fight Club when, was turned up. Listen, shout out to Uncle Jeff. He went to work. He pretty much cleaned up that whole panel. Some people, not so much, but for the most part, Uncle Jeff went to work. It was Sunday shows, in my opinion, are probably the funnest shows because I'm not going to lie. Sunday shows, I do assert myself a little bit more aggressively in the conversations because Sunday is like my thing. That's like me. So I knock that whole show out. So I'm a little bit more assertive there. I'm a little bit more aggressive. I'm a little bit more, I would say laid back at the same time. I laugh a little bit more there. I try to have as much fun as I can on Sundays because to me, that means we grind through the Friday to Saturday stream, and now we push through the process, and we're gonna get y'all to work. Hopefully, y'all not drunk. Hopefully, y'all not high and things like that. And y'all focus on doing what y'all got to do to provide for yourself, your families, and my service to the people for that weekend. I feel I am. I don't want to say happy because it's not the right word to use, but I do feel that that particular process for that weekend has come to that conclusion, and it does feel good, right? So that's why Sundays I'm a little bit more aggressive, chill, laid back, all those different things. You'll get a little bit more personality about me on that show. Now, on my show, you're going to get that all the time, right? Now, it's been a lot going down, and I just want to talk to y'all about a whole lot of stuff, but I only want to talk a little bit. I don't want to talk your ears off today. But I want to discuss a little bit what I'm hearing about when it comes to the patriarchy, matriarchy, and things like that. I'm very, very conflicted because I'm going to tell y'all something I tell everybody, right? We all born into this game. I promise y'all. Let me give y'all a little bit here. Just give y'all a little bit. We born into this game. All right. We get no say so on the laws. We get no say so on where we're born. We get no say so on our family. We born into this game. And there's a lot of indoctrination. There's a lot of social conditioning that we are developed through the people who lead us and control us as we are growing, as we are becoming our own individuals. Hopefully some of us get there, some of us don't. But as we put ourselves in these positions, as we grow, life starts to evolve and open up to us. But remember, the game started before we got here. So I ain't getting no say so. So it's on me to try to figure out how to position myself to best play this game that does end. See, the one thing about this game of life is it does end. It's not indefinite. It's not into perpetuity. It comes to an end. And the best thing you can do is get a high level of self-awareness to understand you, understand how you are seen by the world, because perception is reality. Perception is reality. And then you have to understand how you're going to attack the world. Like a lot of us play the world. We play on defense, right? Spence, what up, bro? We play on defense. And I like to get people to start assessing their life on a offensive as well of understanding how to be defensive, right? It's two ways to play that. First thing is this. A lot of the information you're going to get in life, you're going to reject it. You need to reject it. I'm going to tell you why. Do y'all know some of the people that we view as the most successful? They are the ones that are way more unconventional, meaning the stuff that they tell us to do don't actually work. You actually have to do the opposite for the most part of what people are telling you to do in life, okay? You literally have to do pretty much the opposite. So what that means is, I hate to say this, but if you even look at some of these rappers, female rappers in particular, right? The Cardi B's, the Meg Thee Stallions, the Red Girl, I don't know her name, but something red, right? Think about it. There are actual women who wouldn't necessarily want to do the things that they're doing, but support them and follow them. Like those are the people that we would technically say, don't be like, those are not leaders. Those are not what we think success should look like. And ta-da, that's exactly what is shown to them. You look at the men, right? They take a lot of risks, whether it's actors, right? Whether it's building companies, right? They tell you, hey, that company gonna fail. Don't do that. Now it's popular to be an entrepreneur, right? But realistically, that they tell you that comes with a risk. So they tell you to take the safe route, go to school, get an education, and then you guys turn your YouTube on, turn your Fire Stick, Amazon on, and what happens? You see a guy 19, 24, 25 talk about I ain't never went to college, but my rollie costs 100. Like, and you be like, damn, you put 100,000 on your wrist? How'd you do? And then you realize, dang, so wait, Kales can't read. Supposedly, Mayweather can't read. They telling me education is the way. And then you find the people that you look at tend to have less and less of that all the time. And the people that are invisible, the most successful invisible people, yeah, they are quite educated, but they're not the visuals in which we see. They're not. Some of us have learned to seek out and identify those really, really successful invisible people like Bernard, like, let me see, some guys you probably wouldn't even know, like an Evan Spiegel, right? The CEO of Snap, right? You start to Snapchat, I'm sorry, and you start to go, dang, a lot of this stuff in life is unconventional. We have to change and reassess how we're operating. And I'm going to tell you guys now, conventional thinking does not work. It may be practical, it may be useful, but it doesn't work. Society shows y'all some of the worst are in the best positions perceived wise in our society. So if you want to survive in our society, you guys are going to have to start paying a whole lot more attention to that, right? A whole lot more attention to that, right? Now, it's a lot of conversation about the matriarchy. And you know what? Let me just tell y'all, I'm in all support of a matriarchy. I have no problem with a matriarchy. I think it can exist. It can be what people want it to be. But I also think that it has to be done by the leaders that want to be leaders. So, for example, let's get into it, right? You know how we discussed how, let me see, how Black people are so-called at the bottom, right? That's the perceived view of, right? Black people at the bottom, right? And we haven't really done anything since Black Wall Street, right? We haven't, because in Black Wall Street, when we had segregation and all that good stuff, we built our own hospitals, convenience stores, businesses, everything you can think of, we built our own. Part of the reason that we built our own is because we couldn't share. They would not share with us. They wouldn't allow us to partake in their spoils. So they said, get your own. And you know what we did, because we were forced to, had to get our own. Whenever you're forced to do something, one thing that human beings have shown for the most part is that they might actually go and do it if you're forced to. This is why I say these relationship dynamics are so far off, because why? We're not forced to be together. What do the women keep telling us? I ain't got to stay with you no more. I make my own money. My grandma had to stay. It's a forced concept. So now what humans have shown is when we're not forced to do something, if it's not indoctrinated in you, we will reject it. If it's not, think about that. If it's not forced upon you, we tend to reject it. And that's what's going on in main society right now. We're rejecting things. And that's perfectly fine, but you got to be aware of that, right? What happened after they decided to burn down Black Wall Street? What happened? We rebuilt it. We rebuilt it and had a bunch of leaders along the way, right? Over time, because our society, our part of our area was thriving, was doing well, the other side said, hey, y'all can use our stuff now. And we said, oh, fine, we'll use your stuff. And we let everything that was ours pretty much slowly disappear over time. And then we became a society together, or how it's perceived or viewed, right? But ultimately, we relied on other resources outside of our so-called own community's resource. That's how the game went. That is how the game went. Now, a lot of women think that they want to be in a matriarchy. They think that they do because whatever views and visions that they have about man, it must be a negative view. Outside of their dad and their brothers and their uncles, the rest of the men, it is what it is. And I'm fine with that. I want people to experience things on their own. There's some people that go around saying things like this: the male brain sees women like a tool and it lights up when they see women. The same part of their brain, when they see a tool, lights up when they see a woman, right? And perhaps that may mean something to some of you, but it means nothing to me. Ultimately, what it tells me is this: there are a lot of women that will tell you, I know some really, really smart guys. I know some really, really smart guys. Whether I want to be with them or not, there's some really, really smart guys. And they know some dumb guys, but they know both. And to think the lighting of a brain is enough to sway your own thinking to that the inabilities of men is based upon the scientific view that a part of a male brain lights up because of a tool, and a woman is viewed like a tool to a man. Sell that however you want to sell it. Means nothing to me. It may actually be scientifically correct. But ultimately, it comes down to this. There's a reason why women like what they like and men like what they like. So, if you want a matriarchy, this ultimately is what has to happen, right? You want a society controlled by women and their laws, and you want women to be the main ones in control. Fine. Two things have to happen. If you want authority over men, I don't know if you're going to get it, but let's just play it out. Let's say you do want authority over men, right? Let's say you do want authority over men. And if that's the case, you're going to have to do the same thing you tell men. You have to prove that you can lead men. Now, I don't know if you can prove that, but I will say this: you're going to have to prove, just like women say, I'm not about to just follow you blindly. You have to prove to me that you can lead. Women are going to have to prove that they can lead over men. Now, how you going to do that is a wonderful question. Harrison, what up, brother? I appreciate you. Shout out to Harrison. He hit me on the Cash App, bro. I appreciate you, family. But ultimately, that's what's going to have to happen. You're going to have to prove that you can lead. And I found some troubling views on what women want to lead. And we're going to touch on that, right? So you guys, we're going to take a trip. Y'all know me. Y'all know me. I'm all about taking trips. That's what I do. So let us get on the airplane. We're going to take a trip. And this is what I want you guys to pay attention to. And we're going to break it down. We're going to get into it. All right. Let's take a trip. Let's take a trip. Let me switch this over here. Make sure my audio is good. Here we go.
Opposite the coast of Guinea-Bissau, an archipelago opens out towards the interior of the Atlantic Ocean. This series of islands is the home of the people which give them their name, the Bissau. During centuries of isolation, the inhabitants of the Bissau's islands have preserved their ancestral culture and traditions. The result is an exceptional society, a matriarchy in which women run the economy, spirituality, the law, and the family.
I'm going to actually drop the link to this video so you guys can watch it in its entirety if you choose to. It will be in the chat for you guys to watch it in entirety. This here is an island that is a matriarchy, right? The women control the laws, they control the economics, they control the family, They are what you would say the leaders. This is the matriarchy, right? I want you to pay attention to a lot of different things, right? Because these are important things I want you guys to view and understand, right? It can be done. There are matriarchies that exist. But please, 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 let's pay attention to what does exist and what does not exist, right? Because this is important. We have social conditioning one way, social conditioning another way, etc., right? But just know they control the land, the laws, the family, the society. The control runs through the women, the leaders, the matriarchy, okay? Just know that it does.
On one of its islands, Orango, the powerful Queen Bampa ruled a century ago. Thanks to her, women accumulated more power than ever, and the inhabitants of Orango became part of a community which was unique in the world.
So what you see already is because they spoke about the queen that led a century ago, right? That leadership led to empowering women to have control a century later. Now you see women with control. And as you can see with a lot of the images, is there a lot of people in close environments. So you kind of see a level of community here because you know what they say, women are communal. They need a community. They don't necessarily need no man to lead them. They need a community.
World.
Obviously climbing up that tree that looks like a male, but you know, whatever. That's what he's been tasked to do.
For generations, the Bisagol women chose their husbands, built their houses, and organized the work.
Now, I want y'all to listen to that one more time.
For generations, the Bisagol women chose their husbands, built their houses, and organized the work.
All right, so let's be clear. So what does that say? The women chose their husbands, built them a house, and organized everything. So ladies, y'all want a matriarchy, so let's be clear. First thing that's going to happen in this matriarchy is this. Y'all going to propose, and y'all building us a house. That's how it works. So y'all building the house, okay? It is what it is. Y'all want the matriarchy. Let me show you a little bit that comes with it, right? Because then I'm going to bring it all full circle. Or I'm going to bring it all full circle, right? So remember, y'all pick your husbands. The husbands don't pick y'all. Y'all pick. And after y'all pick, y'all go ahead and build us a house. So y'all propose and y'all build us houses. Shout out to y'all. Matriarchy fellas. Hey, fellas, how that matriarchy looking right now? I'm just wondering, how's it looking right now? Have y'all, fellas, in the chat, just listen, just do me. Put a 1 in the chat if a woman has ever built you a house. Or put a 2 in the chat if you think that's insane that a woman will build you a house. Just let me know what y'all thinking. Just let me know what y'all think. I'm going to just tell y'all now. I'm going to put a 2 in the chat right now. I ain't got no house. They ain't built no house for me. I'm just tell you that right now. They ain't built none for me. But what I mind, we'll see. Oh, we'll see. Y'all asked for this. I'm just giving y'all what y'all asked for. That's all.
They are considered to be a bridge between the world of the living and the dead. On the island of Orango, the women are the queens.
Ooh, look at that. You know what? Let me speed this up just a little bit. Just a little bit. You know what it says there? On the island, the women are the queens. So all this time, y'all hear queen is, y'all be saying, hey, king, what up, king? Don't say that on their island. It's queens only. Hey, listen, the queens run that island, okay? The queens. So fellas, y'all need to chill out. Ladies, go ahead, listen, and let me listen, fellas. I just want y'all to put this in the chat one time for me. I am gonna take care of a grown man. I am gonna take care of a grown man. Because see, here in the West, all I hear women say is, I ain't taking care of no grown man. I ain't taking care of no grown. Now they insert an expletive, but I choose not to, right? But they say they not taking care of no grown man. Well, you will out there. You will out there in your matriarchy that you requested. Yes, you shall. Now, one thing I do want to acknowledge is, man, I must say it feels, listen, Sherelle been singing, it feels good to be king, but here it feels good to be queen. At least so they say.
The Tabanca of Eticoga is having a celebration. This Tabanca, as the local villages are called, is the largest of the island of Orango, with just under 1,000 inhabitants. Sarita is wearing a saya, or traditional skirt.
Now, fellas, listen up. Y'all not gonna be rocking no Kobe Bryant jerseys over here, okay? Tradition only, colorful things, okay? Ain't gonna be no 23 like Jordan. Ain't gonna have no kicks like that. Nah, that ain't how it work over here. If you want to live under a matriarchy, you must live within their means, their power, and their authority. J Hub said less than 1K. No, there's more than 1K. It's just in this particular area on the island, there is 1K. I'm sure it's not an extreme amount of people, but there's more than 1K. It's just this particular area has about that amount of people, right? But it's still a little bit more, right? Now, just remember, no J's, no jerseys. It is what it is. Y'all see what you're going to get. I will say this. Her skin is glowing, though. I ain't going to front. Skin is glowing.
In addition to a wig, she adorns her body with necklaces and bracelets. Dino is sporting clothes with striking colors. He also adorns himself with necklaces and oils. Today, he is wearing this clothing on the occasion of his wedding, but young men have dressed in this manner for centuries with a clear objective, attracting the attention of women.
Mm-hmm. We there to attract the attention of a woman. We there to attract the attention of women. Okay, it's very, very important to attract the woman because they are the ones that come for us. They come for us. So gentlemen, make sure y'all get colorful. Y'all ain't got to be flashy, but be colorful because you need a woman to pick you. All right. There's some key important things here I want to touch on, and then we're going to get back to the people. All right.
Their role was restricted to allowing themselves to be seduced, as traditionally it is the Bisago women who have chosen their husbands and asked for their hand in marriage.
Go ahead, ask for our hand in marriage, ladies. Go ahead, get on your knees and ask for our hand in marriage, as it is y'all tradition, as y'all have wrote all the laws, as y'all control all the economics. Go ahead and seduce us. Tell us what, seduce us so that way we can pick y'all, all right? Because if y'all don't get it, if y'all don't make it happen, it's on y'all. Y'all the leaders. If y'all don't make it happen, it's on y'all. Y'all the leaders.
Women also ended the relationship when a separation occurred.
This is key, guys. Women also end the relationship when a separation occurs. Make sure you guys read this this text that's about to pop up, okay?
Sintar, ikaw ang kuma, ikaba pukurang de constania, comandantar. O simpanya bombias. Ale bakar garindido.
Just want to let you guys know. She says, the first time I get angry, I take my things and I go. I take my things and I go. So remind you, so you know how they say men don't leave relationships? In the matriarchy, men still don't leave relationships. The women still. So whether we in a patriarchy, a woman going to leave a relationship, and whether in a matriarchy, a woman's going to leave the relationship. Either way it go, they decide whether they not stay in the relationships. Now listen, as she get angry, she take her stuff, she leave. She get angry a second time, she take everything and leave. Oh, you keep the hut, but I'm taking everything else. All right, say less. You got it. You got it. Yeah, you got it. And listen. Remember I told y'all, see, y'all think it's a game. I told y'all You got to live within their means. That means no J's, no what's those shoes called? I don't even know. No Gucci flip flops. No, none of those. No more Jellins, whatever they called. I don't know. I can't afford them. Y'all get sandals and sand, a little bit of dust, but you're gonna be happy because men don't need a lot. Remember, we don't need a lot.
Although Sarita's mother and grandmother asked for their husbands' hands in marriage, she did not. With Western influence, this custom is changing.
Ooh, did you hear that? They said the Western influence is having an impact on this matriarchy. The West is seeping in even to their views. Now, my question is this. What about the West would a matriarchy want to adopt? What about the West would a matriarchy like this want to adopt? I'm curious. What would you like? You would like the man to get on his knees and ask you? You like the men to be the leaders? What about the West do you guys want over here in y'all matriarchy for probably over a century plus, right? What is it? What is it that you want from the man in the West? We don't know.
Sarita and Pino have known each other since childhood, as they were both born in Eticoga on the island of Orango.
Okay. That looks fun.
This is one of the 20 inhabited isles of almost 100, which make up the archipelago of the Bisagos Islands.
Beautiful.
Each island has its own identity, but they all share a common past, that of the Bisago people. This ethnic group has retained a matriarchal society unique in the world, in which women are the force which drives life and spirituality. It's the animist religion. They believe in the existence of a supreme being, Nindo, the god. But there is an intermediate power between God and men, the Oribok, as it also refers to the dead and the protective gods. For the Bisago, nature is inhabited by these supernatural beings, which
I just want to let y'all know very clearly. Gentlemen, these are the earthy chicks that we be talking about. These are the earthy chicks that we be talking about, okay? So all the chicks that don't believe in deodorant, ain't gonna be no deodorant. Listen, but y'all gonna get the control y'all want. Y'all gonna get the leadership y'all want. Y'all gonna get the economics of the control of the matriarch. Y'all get all of that. All of that is y'all's. Oh Lord, exactly what you guys have requested. And I'm gonna tie it in. I'm not gonna watch you make the whole thing. It's one other point that I want to get to, and then we're gonna pull everybody in. But I just want you guys to experience what a matriarchy is truly like. Man, that is one heck of a boat right there. It ain't a yacht. It ain't a yacht, but it is what it is. It ain't a yacht, but it is what it is.
To rule man's destiny. For this reason, many beaches, trees, jungles, and some islands are considered to be sacred.
Y'all hear that? The many beaches, jungles, islands, it's sacred. Like I told you, earthy, very earthy, right? Let me fast forward a little bit, and then we're gonna move forward. Let me see here. We're gonna
as is indicated by the presence outside them of the Kuserum, a tree which is considered to give protection.
See? Listen, they have a tree. I want y'all to understand they have a tree there that is designed to protect y'all, okay? So if y'all want protection, there's a tree. The matriarchy has a sacred tree that is designed to protect the people, okay? So if ever y'all feeling, let's just say, scared, nervous, under attack, run to the tree. The tree shall give you the protection that is needed, okay? The tree. It is what it is. Like, nothing's getting me more excited than to be protected by a tree. Nothing. So this matriarchy is looking real, real good to me, right?
From the Tabanka of Edunque, the clan scattered to found new Tabankas until Eticoga was reached.
Give me 1 second. My girl Lauren says, so no light-skinned people at all. No, the white man has not infiltrated them. Y'all, they got you real protection from the big old scary white man. Oh Lord, the matriarchy there. Listen, they ain't got those problems that we got out here. The women run things, the economics, all that. They build you houses, all that, custom made sandals. You got it. Yes. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Oh yeah.
Society is structured in clans, and there is a class system by ages.
Mm-hmm.
Throughout their lives, both men and women perform initiation rites. In this way,
did y'all hear that? The class system is uniquely identified by the age. So the age is one of the most important component to the class system. Like I told y'all, class systems exist everywhere. But here, instead of using moolah or dinero or this money, right? They use age, right? Which is something that's not necessarily man-made per se, but it's not something that you can typically inflate. So it's a very, very tangible way to control the class system, right?
they pass from one stage to another and gain rights. The choice of the kinglet or chief of the tabanca.
Man, that hat is fire. Look, OG's just sitting back. Listen, I ain't gonna lie. Y'all see those chairs right there? Back in the day, we used to grow up, we had chairs like that. It was a little more beige type of color, but we had chairs just like that too, okay? We had chairs just like that too, no lie. We did. We had them just like that. Shout out to my guy, John, the analyst. The chat room king says, this is for Peanut Eminem head AA Ron. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. You know what? I'm gonna highlight you as the sponsor of the show since you called me a peanut head. Now I will tell you this: my feelings ain't hurt, but if you do hurt my feelings, I'm gonna tell my mama. Or if we on the island, I'm telling my mama. Let's be clear. If we on this island, I'm telling my mama. I'm telling all the women, and I'm gonna run to the tree for protection. So I ain't worried about you, John. I'm not worried about you. This ain't no problem. Ain't no problem.
And of the Baloberas does not depend on age, but on belonging to the clan which owns the earth.
You heard that? But listen to what they said. Belonging to the clan that owns the earth. I wonder how much of this earth they think they actually own. Not sure, but I do wonder.
As this lineage is inherited by women, it is they who determine the positions of power in society.
Oh, let me rewind that. Listen. The lineage is inherited by the women. It is they. Dang, her skin is so nice. It is they who determines the positions of power. The woman. Yes, it is them.
As this lineage is inherited by women, it is they who determine the positions of power in society. The kinglet is responsible for administering the natural resources and for establishing the time of sowing and to fallow land and what to do in the case of drought.
Yeah, her skin is it's popping. I ain't gonna hold you. Now listen, it is them who has to decide what to do when with the resources and when there's a potential drought. Now, ladies, have y'all ever experienced a drought before? And I ain't talking Lil Wayne. I'm saying, have y'all ever experienced a drought? Well, through y'all leadership. I'm going to just tell you that now. Oh, yes, through y'all leadership. Oh, yes. Oh, let's do y'all leadership. Y'all determine the leaders, the power to control, the drought, all that. It's all y'all. It's y'all.
It's advised by a council of elders made up of both men and women. Augusto belongs to the lineage of the Oraga. He is descended from Pampa Caniimpa, a queen in whom myth and reality merge.
That's called royalty. He has royal blood seeping through his body. Okay, he is royalty.
As he is almost 100 years old, His son Simon is in charge of guarding the tomb of this queen, who is venerated by all the inhabitants of the island.
So think about it like the Egyptians, right? You know how the Egyptians, they still want control in the afterlife. Well, he must guard the queen's remains. Okay, it's still, this stuff really still happening, y'all. It's still happening.
Okinkapampa governed Orango in the early 20th century. She was a peace-loving woman who, despite having an army, preferred to pay heavy taxes to the Portuguese to avoid war.
I'm going to rewind that last part so y'all hear what happened, okay?
Having an army, preferred to pay. Okinkapampa governed Orango in the early 20th century. She was a peace-loving woman who, despite having an army, preferred to pay heavy taxes to the Portuguese to avoid war.
See? So, let me make sure I highlight that for y'all who didn't understand. She was a peacing, loving woman. So, even though she had an army, to avoid the war, she decided to pay heavy taxes to to the Portuguese, right? To Portugal, right? And you have to understand that to have think about how strong of a leader you got to be to know you got an army ready to run through a wall for you. And instead of put them in danger, you would just go ahead and cash out and be like, it's cool. Just take our resources, take this extra stuff. We're going to pay heavy taxes so we don't have to risk none of our people because we are peace, loving, kind people. It is what it is. Some people got fat. Why some people were starving, but it is what it is. It is what it is.
E obrigado Bintra, cada homem na tabanca para poder pegar não vaca para pagar aqui tropas portuguesas. É para depois que paga tropas portuguesas falar o problema que tem agora já no cana guerra já.
During her reign, the privileges for women of the island increased. After her death, the Portuguese subjugated Orango, which was a colony of Portugal, for 4 decades.
The Portuguese take everybody. 4 decades. Man, that's 40 years. Okay. It's all good. It's all good. Let me drop the video in the chat one more time for you guys. If you guys want to continue to watch it, if you guys want to see it even more through its entirety, I have it in the chat for you guys to watch. Okay. So you guys can hit that link. You guys can do what I often do. You can save it to your watch later and things like that so you guys can watch it another time. But for the most part, the things that I wanted to highlight, I was able to get you guys to understand. So now, let's break it down. You notice on that island, this is very important, right? I want to show y'all 2-3 different things here. Let me set up a little bit. Now, here's the point 1. Just like segregation separated and allowed people to thrive in their own separate groups, it forced you to do things. However, the same struggle that the so-called black man, minorities, and people like that are having in the world that y'all believe are dominated by the white man, however y'all want to discuss it, it's very, very difficult to push our beliefs and views on someone else who has power and control, right? I want y'all to watch the hustlers, meaning the people that sell y'all dreams and false philosophies and things like this because it sounds good and it fills up their pockets, right? See, the first thing I want you guys to understand is that you can have a matriarchy. You're just not about to have it in America. You see, the reason I want you to show you guys that island is that in order for you to create a matriarchy, you must go into a land. You must take a place that is not controlled and established by the men. And then you must create your own. You don't then get to take what men have built, whether you consider it 5 men, the patriarch, like the architects of the patriarchy in America, because I know this whole back and forth, men built the world and all this stuff. Yes, the physical labor aspect of it, sure, right? You see how in that matriarchy, they built huts and things like that. They don't build skyscrapers. Some of y'all in Chicago, Some of y'all in New York, y'all not about to get that type of stuff. See, because the man built that. Whether you want to look at it as 5 or 6 families that controlled everything and they made the rest of the men get involved and build it, they still did it. And when you see the men step back and say, y'all can go architect your own life, what you see is a lot of areas that are underdeveloped. My guy J Hub said no plumbing system. No, y'all don't get no toilets. Y'all got to build that. Y'all got to come up with that creativity. Since y'all want the leadership role and take it from men who I agree with y'all. Sure, they don't deserve it. They don't deserve it because their brain sees women like a tool. Fine. Y'all got it. Find y'all an establishment and go create this. And it don't take much, little bit at a time. A little bit at a time. Let me give y'all some examples, right? Because I ain't playing these games with y'all today. Let me give y'all some examples, right? Hold on, I need a little bit of water. Because we're gonna have some fun today. Let me tell you the difference of a cult leader that actually leads with actions and things like that, and these so-called like YouTube type cult leaders who just want to take from people, right? See, the thing I respect so much about, and I'm not saying in all aspects, is that, and when you look in Utah, they got their own small towns out there. They got their own thing that they established to where they got these weird religions and all this type of stuff, but they went and did it. So, for example, there is, because I told y'all, I ain't playing no games today. There is literally a place in Utah that's for sale. There's a whole town you can buy, okay? It's listed for $3.9 million. $3.9 million, and you can buy a town. Let's just say that town, for example, houses about 400 people, right? Let's say you're a YouTuber. Let's say you're a leader, right? Let's say you want to push your philosophy and all those things. I don't know. Go buy a town. Instead of just taking everybody's this and that and say, oh, we really want to build a matriarchy. The men are bad. The men are this, and that. Let's say that's true. These women have a lot of money. They support these, I'll call them radical leaders all the time. What do these leaders actually do? Do they actually go by the town and say, hey, ladies, I'm showing y'all the way to go. And what I'm doing is I'm going to buy this town. We're going to control it. I'm going to be the mayor. We're going to get the people, the men that want to listen to us, because it's your job to lead, to find the men that want to listen to y'all, to be y'all so-called masculine or alpha males to control everybody else, right? So go ahead, buy the town. Don't just take all the donations, the church donations, and not actually give the people an actual space, right? It's one thing to profess all this, I'm a leader stuff, fine. But at some point, the people have to go and say, you know what? You could actually buy a town, and then I can be the leader in this town. And ladies, I can build y'all the community that y'all been asking for. So when your little 3-year-old son running around and he having trouble, there's Bianca there, there's Felicia there, there's Stephanie there, there's Jasmine there. We got all these women here to support one another, and we gonna run this town. Not on no Jay-Z and Kanye, but they gonna run this town. They actually can do this. They actually can do this, guys. Like, they actually can do this stuff, okay? There's a lot of stuff. I'm trying to tell y'all, y'all can buy a town. If y'all don't believe me, just Google it. Yes, AL, I know 4 million is a small house there. That's agreed. But see, out there, it's not necessarily a place where man is controlling the infrastructure like we do in the rest of society, in the Bostons, or the California, and all that kind of. That place is for an area for where it ain't a lot of residents, close to none, and you would go and get to create your own world and views. You absolutely can. And actually prove your theoretical theory, because what happens is there are not a lot of women philosophers. And sometimes that offends people. Oh, we had good ideas. The men just took it from us. Okay. Jay-Z says, okay, so Make another one. That's what I believe. I don't believe nobody makes nobody. If you can, you need to make another one. And if you can make another one, I give it to you. The problem is that's very difficult to do in general. So buy your whole town. Show us that leadership and then actually put it in actual place. But what's going to happen is they're not going to do it. They're not going to actually give a women a safe space that is controlled and dominated by women, because women ain't going to want to go. What women going to want to get the sewer system running so you guys can start having that actual toilet seat, plumbing system, running water? Yeah, y'all got to get that infrastructure going. Y'all got the money for it, but who's going to actually do it? Let me guess. Y'all like how y'all doing right now, huh? Kazi says there are actually many female philosophers. Name them, Kazi. Name them. Because I'm not saying there aren't. I'm saying most women never name them. Most women never quote them. Women don't tend to do that unless they're in a battle with men to prove that women have done stuff before. But I'm saying go ahead and do it. But the women, let me tell y'all why this stuff is so interesting. The women are not going to actually hold a woman to actually prove that, because y'all women don't seem to want to be led by other women. I love to see how that dynamic works. I love to see it play out. I love to see it play out, because I listen. Rico says, who will build the power grid? The women, just like they build the houses for the men there. Oh, and in that town, y'all gonna be taking care of a grown man. Yes, y'all gonna be providing for a grown man. Yes, because you still have to convince the men that you're worthy enough for him to want to be with you. Because like we said, you still got to seduce the men. You don't just get you think because a man look at you, he's just gonna go, okay. Not so simple. Do y'all really want a matriarchy? My answer to that question is no. See, the women that claim matriarchy are American women primarily. See, y'all want a matriarchy after we've already developed society to the point where you have a Lambo or a Corvette or a Mercedes-Benz outside. But remember, the stupid guy who sees women, his head lights up like a tool. We like the cars. We built those. We did that. Now, you could claim, oh, well, y'all know the history of Henry Ford and the black man who actually did these things, who's in actual pictures. They show you the guy. So y'all can't take this particular thing away from the black man when it comes to cars. Y'all could take a whole lot of things away from the black man, but not when it comes to the cars. The truth is the truth. So y'all don't get the cars unless y'all prove y'all can build that. Now, Orchid, I'm not angry. This is a conversation. You probably never seen me angry. I'm just saying you have to go out and you can't rebuild. You cannot rebuild on what the man have already built. Y'all only this comfortable because y'all like, dang, hey, we can be the president here. Hey, we can be the Fortune 5. Ain't gonna be no Fortune 500 companies. Where? What Fortune 500 companies are gonna be built that we ain't built, that the men haven't? Which ones? Y'all gonna have to sustain them. Y'all gonna have to get the resources. Y'all already seen that the island there has a lack of resources. It's outdated. It's probably not to what you American women would like to get. I'm just being honest with y'all. See, when I told y'all that, this is why I say this. Hey, y'all could all just move to Idaho or something, buy a whole plot of land, build on that, and then build out y'all community. Y'all don't have to work, ladies. Y'all have the money. Y'all can literally buy acres of land, South Dakota, North Dakota, Idaho, wherever you want, and go from there. But y'all like these skyscrapers that y'all see outside. Y'all like these fast cars that y'all see outside. This is what y'all like. Sandy said, what's the name of the island? Sandy, I'll drop the video for you because I am not a leader, so I cannot even speak the islands' names. I'm a follower, so I'm going to drop it in the chat. Idaho ain't a real place. Neither is Minnesota. No, B-Rose, they very much exist. The problem is the control of the infrastructure, the land, the town will be controlled by the matriarchy. I have no problem with a matriarchy. Y'all not taking our patriarchy or whatever y'all want to so-called call it from the men. That's not how it works. You can go get your own, or you can take from somebody else through war and destruction. Now, historically, at least that particular place, they didn't want no war. They was peaceful. See, the men are the violent ones, right? The women are the peaceful ones. So they rather just pay the taxes. We cool. Let us keep our land, mind our business. We give y'all a little extra because we just want to be free. See, the men, we going to come see you about something. You take our stuff, we line it up and we go on war about that because we egotistical, because we're prideful. We think we own stuff. So we willing to live and die for stuff. Yes, that is true. And I will overtly say it could be wrong. The women could be 100% right. Women could be 100% right. B Rose, you can be a leader of a man. You just have to find the men that want to follow you. See, you have to prove that you can build, I don't know, something, build a house for a man. You have to prove your value to the man if you want them to follow you. See, the men in the video ain't just listening and following because they want to. It's because they see women actually building stuff. They see women build the house for them. They see women propose for them. They see women take care of the man. So they're like, yes, okay, you are the leader. But see, here y'all say, I ain't doing none of that. That's a man's job. Whoa, 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 whoa. And a matriarchy is going to be your job. How else you think you're going to convince a bunch of men that have the physical capabilities to not listen to you, to listen to you? Let's just be real. Now, I'm just being honest. It ain't got to be nice. I'm just being honest about it. I want y'all so-called leaders to go ahead and buy up the town. But y'all know what's going to happen? They're not going to buy the town. They're not going to show you that they can build land. They're not going to show you that they can maintain infrastructure. They just going to tell y'all, if the men don't do it, what do you think the women are going to do? Fall around and die? No, they're going to do it. No, they're not. They're absolutely not going to do it, at least not in America. MC said, I hate city, but as long as I have Dollar General on the country, then going to town too, I can survive. Well, look, listen. Let me be very, very clear. You can build your own Dollar General. You can build your own Dollar General. It's fine if you want to make a partnership with the men, but in my humble opinion, if you want to redefine and re-indoctrinate and change the views, the women actually have to show the men, right? Because we have to actually see you as these leaders that y'all see men. The only reason y'all say men should be the leaders is because y'all seen them do stuff. I seen my grandfather put the stuff together in the house. He picked up the saw, he cut it in, he put the hammer. I seen, y'all seen it, right? I'm not saying the men now are doing it. I know why the men are not doing it now, because they don't have to do it. We've advanced society so much that they don't have to do it. But if you take the men, because the men they're not about to just say, all right, it's cool, I'm going to follow under women. Some men will. But the other men that like they Corvettes and the other men that like they Mustangs, we going to stay here. And so the women in the chat, they're like, girl, I don't like women like that. I like men. They going to stay here too. And see, what we going to do is respect y'all and say, have every right. Take the women that say, man, this dumb, we delinquent, all that stuff, humbly so, and go prove what y'all got to do. But y'all can't take this because it's already developed, and now you feel comfortable that this in a developed area and land, y'all can lead. No, you have to go prove to the man for you to maintain lead that you can build this. The only reason men be listening to other men like, that's Elon, bro. Yeah, that's Elon. Oh, yeah, those are the Simon brothers. Yeah. They own a bunch of malls. They built a bunch of properties. Yeah, they billionaire real estate people. Yeah. The only reason men gonna respect it because they seen it happen. They seen when they was employed, when they was laying that concrete down, they said, what company is that? Oh, you see that tractor over there? What company is that? They seen it and they go, it is what it is. It ain't no just bunch of loser men laying around saying, hey, bro, you a leader. It doesn't happen like that. You have to literally actually go prove to men. So men have to prove themselves to other men. They don't just get to be men under this theoretical theory that y'all think exists. So y'all gonna have to do the same thing. Y'all gonna have to go and take this undeveloped land, and by the way, tons of it. I don't care what area and country that y'all want to go to. Take it, develop it, record it, document it, whatever you want. Whatever you want, you have the ability to do so. And the men, let me be honest, if a man pull up in your town, right? Let's just say, hold on. Yes, my brother Ricky is in it, but what up, Ricky? Let's just say Ricky pull up, right? And Ricky he in his truck, right? He drive by, he said, you know, I'm gonna just take a trip down. And he turned in there and it says, I don't know. Let me see. I don't want to be messy. Let's just say this is the Highlands. You turn into the city. Welcome to the Highlands, right? So you turn in there. You see, okay, this is the Highlands, ran by, insert the matriarchal woman, whoever the queen is. Y'all put her name in the chat. Whoever y'all want to lead y'all town, put her name. And Ricky pull up in there and he see women working, hammering, pouring cement. Oh, Ricky like, whoa, these women out here working. He see women down there with the jackhammer. Pulling up the infrastructure so they can start running pipe and everything so they can get the sewer systems running through. And Ricky, like, he called me on the phone, like, Neff. I'm like, what's going on? Hey, it's some ladies down here in this town. I don't know the high. I ain't seen nothing like this. They over here building infrastructure. Oh yeah, they got water coming through. They building it from the ground up. I said, oh, you lying? Oh, what? Y'all start doing that. He gonna be like, respect. Y'all, and then some men be like, oh, y'all build houses for y'all men, and y'all control the economics. It's cool. We gonna come to y'all town and be with y'all. But see, I don't think y'all want to do that. I think y'all just want the power based around how it's already laid out. I hate to tell you, what you gonna do with the men that already exist? See, it's easy to pick a place that is deserted, have some infrastructure, but you get to build it from the ground up, than to try to tell men who already have their homes, who already have a job here, hey, I know y'all been listening to men and men been running all the rules and stuff, but now y'all gonna do what we say. It's not gonna happen. It's just not going to happen. I am not going to be like, you know what? Yes, let's just listen. That won't work. Now, y'all can have a political position. We don't care. Ricky will tell you, we don't care. Who are you, the congresswoman, the senator? We don't care. Oh, you want to be the president? We don't care. Whatever. Fine. But if you think on a day-to-day basis, we going to run in a society that is... You're going to have to do like the Americans did. See, it don't sound nice, and I know y'all say, "Oh, there was bad people," but they took, and they listen. They made all this gunpowder. They got these they took, and they said, "This ours now," and they built on it, and they created this lovely country that y'all love so much, and giving y'all the freedom to speak about how y'all dislike the control that some men have. Some men have, right? Because I'm not ignorant to the fact that all the men did not build the whole world. The architects of the men, the top men. I talk about the top men all the time. For example, right? The top men have made it so hard for you to get to the top that all the women love the men at the top. Y'all all want to say, if y'all had the option to pick the men, y'all pick the ones at the top. I'm not mad at y'all. But they designed the society to run that way. I'm no idiot to capitalism and how it controls, and most people don't even know how money works, so they're going to be stuck in a position forever. I know that. I'm not an idiot. I'm fully aware of that. They have monopolized the game. Most of y'all in debt without even knowing y'all in debt. And it ain't even just credit debt. Y'all don't even know y'all in debt to life because you're already starting behind the 8 ball because your mind is not equipped. Your mind is not equipped. So you're already behind. I know that it's only a few men that run things, but the rest of the men are actually contributing to the physical buildup of society, whether you want to say the power grids, whatever you want to call it, the stuff that you sleep in at night to where you talk all this mess. Let's just say you on a computer, you get into a back and forth with a man, the man that you arguing with, the infrastructure that you are, that man made sure that you feel safe enough to argue with some man over the computer. Yeah, he did that. Now, what I've learned is this. Y'all don't really want to do this, do y'all? Y'all not really gonna follow a woman, buy a whole town for. Listen, ladies, $3.4 million for a group of women is not that much. If you look at people, let's just say they got a membership, right? I don't have memberships, right? Let's just say you have 100 to 200 members. I'm going to tell you this. A lot of these women get a lot of money in this patriarchal system, whatever you want to call it. Y'all have no problem pulling a bunch of money together to give to the women that y'all see as y'all leader to go buy these towns. But let me ask y'all, do y'all want me to leave San Francisco so y'all can have it? Y'all want the men to leave Texas so y'all can have it? They're not going to do that. They've already established we good with this over here. Now, listen, y'all can try to convince all the women to leave, right? Which I won't be mad at y'all, right? And say, we're going to just do this over here. What the men going to do if we just dry up all the land, the men don't have nothing else? I'll tell you what's going to happen. Women are going to find out that they don't like women as much as the theory of being around a bunch of women is. And they're going to say, nah, girl, I'm going to just stay around here with these men. I like them. Because it ain't just the horny men all the time. Y'all know the negative view of the horny men, right? See, when Lee, y'all remember my guy, Unlike Lee, right? See, he said something I thought was interesting. And it's not that I don't know it. It's just that we rarely bring it up. See, men have this high need for sex and women have this high desire for children. Y'all can say, no, I don't want children. You can say you don't want it, but the reason you typically don't want children is possibly because of distress, right? Meaning that the fear that you won't be able to take care of the child, the fear that you won't get any help with the children is typically the problem. It's not that you don't have a desire for children. I be around women all the time and they say, ooh, get that baby away from me. I got a little bit of baby fever right now. Let me get you back to your mom. Let me get you back to your dad. Y'all have that urge for children the way that men have that urge for sex. It ain't identical because I remember Mr. Payne was coming up here, got mad at me and said, what did he say? Sugar said, who got my wrench back? I don't remember who it was, Sugar. I don't, you tricked some guy to get you a wrench, Sugar. I don't remember who it was. But I remember he was mad because I said that that's the thing for women. It is what it is. That like it's reasonable because yes, women have that baby fever, that itch. It's true. Now, y'all may say that y'all don't feel comfortable, y'all not safe. I believe y'all. But the reason why Nick Cannon not having no trouble propositioning women and saying, hey, I want you to have my child is because he have the resources to make a woman feel comfortable. Because I'm going to say something that's not comfortable. Oh. See, women don't really need men to raise children. You may need men to raise children to be the type of men that you want them to be. But if you wanted a man to be in a matriarchy, you don't really need somebody like, let me say Ricky, or I don't know. Let me see. Let me just pick a random name in the chat. Who's in the chat right now? Let's just say Kay. I don't know. Y'all don't really need men for that. Y'all can raise the boys to be however you want y'all matriarchy boys to be. But the men over here, the Ricky Williams, the men over here, they going to raise the boys the way that they need them to be. So that's going to conflict because y'all want a certain type of men in y'all society. Fine. Y'all don't really need our help with that. Y'all got that. Y'all get 6, 7, 8 women per unit there, and y'all raise the boys and girls to be however y'all think they should be for y'all area. But the problem is y'all think that the type of men that y'all would want is going to listen and let y'all be the head over them. That's not going to happen. I know you don't like it, and I know you can find some professors, some guys that say, yeah, you know what? I think a matriarchy would be good for us. But I'm going to be candid with you. The rest of the men that y'all physically attracted to now, they not going to fit very well in the matriarchal system. They just not. They listen, whatever you want, ego, pride, whatever you want to say about a man, negative, fine. Go build the type of man that you want. I have no problem with it. I have no problem with it at all. Shout D says, I just want to support. We appreciate you, bro. Thank you, D. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I'm just telling what I think. I could be wrong. But I ultimately don't believe a lot of these women want to go into that society led by women. Now, you could call this social conditioning to women thinking that men are supposed to be leaders just because they men. Call it what you want, but you are going to have to redefine your social conditioning for the women that you bring to your society. But let me just be honest with all of y'all. I genuinely don't believe we will live in any type of society where this will exist. This is all just about YouTube talking points and YouTube this and this and that, and how can I get a bunch of followers and so-called things. That's all it's going to amount to. You're not going to walk outside one day and say, oh, just because Hillary Clinton is the president, we live in a matriarchy. That ain't going to work. And it ain't going to necessarily make you think. And let me give y'all an example. You ain't going to necessarily be in a place where women are controlling Congress, the Senate, and they make up all the laws, right? And y'all say, yeah, this is how it's supposed to be. Because tell me this, ladies, any one of y'all, what law do you think a matriarchy could create that does not already exist now? Out of curiosity, what law do you think that they would create that would make women go, yes, these are the laws we've been needing for a long time? What law is that? My best guess is not many, and y'all probably haven't thought of any because y'all haven't had any time because the toxic men are not allowing y'all to be yourselves, right? But that's what I ultimately think. It's a bunch of BS. It's a bunch of BS. It's not going to change. Whether you want to go to the East and those toxic men over there and their patriarch, whatever you want, you can only make change when you're forced to. When you're forced to, that's one. And when you have a new environment to where there's no opposition. So, for example, right? See, that island there, if you notice, they are. I showed y'all that because they're on the island. And we are living really in a time where there's not a lot of war going on, right? We have silent wars. We have one, that big one now, but that hadn't happened for like, let me see, probably like a real big war like this for a good amount of time. So it really doesn't impact everywhere like it used to, because back in the day, everybody was warned. Everywhere there was. We're very much civilized now. So my question is, B Rose, B Rose? I would love for you to ask that question to me direct, because what does that mean? I want a paywall. They already have paywalls. What are you talking about? You trolling right now. So ultimately, you're going to have to get your own land in your own area that does not have that you don't have any resistance. So that's why I say you have to buy your own town. And ladies, listen. Please, when you're listening to your so-called leaders that are telling you, B Rose, let me tell you this: women would not vote for that. Women would not vote for a paywall to stop men from giving them money. You sound crazy. You sound crazy. If you think they would, well, you know what? Think about it however you want to. Ultimately, the thing is, you need a place. Sugar Bum says no male sounds fun area. You lying. Ultimately, what happens is this. If you pick a place of land that has no resistance to what you want, you will do just fine. You can then bring in all the people that believe in what you believe. Ladies, I'm just going to ask y'all this. Y'all have this live stream with me. We having a conversation. To those female leaders that tell you we don't need the men. We are the resource. We are the leaders. We are the control. We are the feminine. We are the ones that God made this particular way. Y'all don't have all these skills. It's not nature. All these different points. Fine. Can y'all propose to them next time you on their so-called platform or chat, wherever you want, say, hey, do you think if we raise some money, because we don't trust men, because let's be honest, the men will just take your money and they'll abandon you like they abandon their kids, right? That's what you're going to say, right? Can you just say, hey, leader, can we give y'all some money? And can you go buy a town, and can you be the architect of that town and build out the leadership the way you see fit? And we will come there. And all you have to do is build businesses and build companies for us to run and participate in, and then have all the support for the women. And when we want to go and produce, there's rules behind it, right? We go out and find the best, most equipped men to reproduce with them. And if the men want to stay and do as they told, they can. But if not, get on. And the rest of the women in the communals, the community will raise these children. What do you think y'all leader gonna say when after y'all done, buying they lectures, buying they virtual classes, all these things? Do you think any of them are actually going to do that? Because I know y'all know for a fact what I'm saying can actually be done. I know y'all can literally Google how to buy a town, how to buy an abandoned city. I know y'all know. And then I know y'all smart enough to know what laws come behind it. Oh, I get to pick my own mayor. Oh, and all I have to do is the same thing the rest of everybody else do. We negotiate with people outside of our borders. So if y'all want to enter our town, we got these laws. Do y'all think that they're going to actually say yes? Or do you think they just going to take y'all money and say, let's just talk about how the men are annoying and bad and just keep taking? What you think going to happen? Huh? Exactly. Ultimately, what I found is that this is a high level of entertainment. A lot of the women like to see women that have the ability to spar with men and to get gotcha moments or outsmart a man and go, see, women can do it too. But ultimately, y'all don't want y'all man to be taken down by them. So if y'all got a man, and a lot of y'all might have them, y'all ain't gonna be watching these women talk about y'all particular man. See, what the ladies are gonna do is this. They're gonna say there's a hierarchy of men too. And there are some men that are on this side of the chart, and they're really smart guys. They're not like these low quality men. So that way, the man that you have, you could say, yeah, my man is high quality. He's not like the rest. And you won't feel bad. You won't feel bad. But ultimately, I don't think that's going to occur. Ultimately, I don't believe none of these female leaders that want a matriarchy will actually propose any particular way to get this done. What they're going to keep telling you is, we have to put a plan together. Well, I am telling you the plan. Let me give you the example now. Buy a town. If you're smarter than men, you're a leader amongst men, there are men, listen, and these men will tell you, they got their rifle, they got some food and water, and they get to marching. Dun. That's all they need. They start from there and they build from there. So ladies, y'all actually have money to where y'all actually can buy a town, build it up, build medical facilities to where y'all can say, hey, listen, we are getting the treatment that we deserve as women, because these men don't know any better. Even if y'all hear that the world, some of the most renowned doctors in the world are men, you're like, we prefer women. Fine. Who's going to actually do it? Ladies, can you put any names in the chat of women that y'all would want to lead your utopia of the matriarchy? Can you guys give me a name or two? And also, Victim Olympian said Black women already did it in Georgia. No, you're confused. Black women did what in Georgia? See, Black women might have bought property and land, but did they develop their own city? Meaning they have their own mayors that they put in place. Please answer that. B. Rose says Michelle Obama. Let me tell you a secret about Michelle Obama. She got a husband, and she ain't leaving the covering of him to be your leader. That's not happening. It's not happening. So who else y'all got? Okay, B Rose wants to troll. Okay, We know Beyonce's not leaving Jay-Z. She's not leaving nobody to be y'all leader of a matriarchy. She's absolutely, think about this. The matriarchy benefits Beyonce because y'all want a woman to be so powerful, so bad that when you see one, y'all overly support her. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying don't support her. I'm telling you to the mind thought of it. You see a powerful woman get money, independent, all this stuff, and you guys, yeah, we got a Beyonce. Cool. But she even still knows she need a man. And she's still going to defer to her man. So ultimately, y'all don't have no picks. Okay, B Rose is trolling. AO says Elizabeth Warren. I'm not gonna lie, I do think Elizabeth Warren might be playing for a certain team. It's a possibility. But the question is she going to actually buy the town? Is she going to actually start to? No, they're not. They're going to argue with men about cities that's already built and that's already run a certain way to give them power. Come on. All of us is smarter than that. Let's use historical context, right? The Americans could not tell the British to do what we want. We literally had to break free of them, establish our own land, however we got it, right? However we got it, and then we went and built our own society. We built our own laws and all that kind of stuff. We couldn't do it. We couldn't make the British convert to what we wanted. Am I off? Were we able to convince the British to do as we wanted, or do we have to separate, find our own land, control it, and then build? Ladies, you're going to have to do the same thing. You cannot take our land, and I'm not even just saying man's land, I'm saying America's land, and you can say it's controlled by men. I won't argue. I would say some men, very small amount of men, the powerful ones, the elites, right? But you're not about to take from them. You're not. So you have to get your own and start from there. But do y'all have that leader y'all willing to follow? I'm going to be honest. B Rose, I don't know where you live, but if you live in any nice city, major city, you're not leaving. My girl Lauren's in the track. I don't see Lauren leaving where she lives to go build this utopia with a matriarchy just to prove that women can do what men do. I don't see almost none of the women wanting to do that, because I think a lot of the women here are like, I really don't really have these problems with men. I mean, men are men, and it is what it is. We know what comes with men. But let me just throw this little dash in there for y'all too, right? Let me just give you guys some insight to understand, right? You guys think that this whole having a baby thing is social conditioning by men and all this type of stuff, right? Well, let me give you the example to where you can actually disprove that, right? When you look at female to female relationships, right? Hold on. When you look at female to female relationships, what do they ultimately want when they both have a nice job? A baby. They still have a need and a desire for a baby. These women don't just say, hey, we ain't gonna have no kids, we just gonna run up the check. When a woman feels secure in a relationship, I don't care if it's with another woman, they still seek and want a baby. The women that don't want children, listen to the reasons that they're telling you. One, they're honest. I'm selfish. Those are the honest ones, right? The other ones are saying, oh, it costs too much. I don't want to be a single mom. I'm scared the man might leave me. Everything is mostly fear. It's mostly fear. You alleviate fear, women have babies all over the place. But ultimately, I'm not even mad. I like to see the women get to a matriarchy and then see if they don't want to have kids because the world is too overpopulated. I don't foresee that occurring at all. I don't foresee that occurring at all. And I think that ultimately the ladies know that. And this whole matriarchy, patriarchy battle is just a YouTube fun thing at this point, because I don't think any of you guys are going to actually push back against anything that I've said. You guys don't ultimately believe there's going to be a woman that will lead you guys to this crazy land. You don't want to leave this land. You only want a matriarchy in America or maybe Europe. But realistically, in other places, you don't. If they don't already have, how would I say, skyscrapers, nice houses, plumbing systems, cars, purses, if they don't already have that, y'all not trying to go there. I don't hear none of those women claiming that they want to start building stuff. I don't. The only women that want to build stuff is the women in the video that I just showed y'all. B Rose, you want to buy New Zealand. Do you know New Zealand is a developed country? See, you think you're slick, right? Because with the prime ministers in Australia, they be having female prime ministers and all that type of stuff, right? Do you see that as a matriarchy because they have female leaders? I don't think you see that. Well, ultimately, I think that's the case. Oh, no, B Rose, I'm not falling for that. You try to troll me. B Rose is trying to troll me, and I'm not falling for it. You ain't gonna get me, B Rose. I'm not falling for it at all. I'm not falling for it at all. What do I care about is the current political development when I'm taking over. You're not taking over no development. You're not taking nothing. This is crazy. Ultimately, I think the point is clear with people. This is all just a bunch of YouTube talking points, matriarchy versus patriarchy. It's cool. But what I found is that ultimately y'all not trying to be stuck with women at all. Y'all want the men just to be nicer. Let's just be honest. Y'all still want the men to make money, but y'all want the men to be nicer and y'all want the men to do some other things. Let's just be honest. But I don't know a lot of y'all women that's really getting happy to go live with a whole bunch of women. I just don't know. But either way, let me just tell you, I am thoroughly entertained. I love to hear this back and forth. It is entertaining to me. I will, because I am an individual thinker, meaning that just because I hear something doesn't mean I just nod my head and go, oh, okay, that is right. Like, I'm entertained by it because I know ultimately what's going to happen is women are going to get excited if you find another woman that can battle against a man intellectually. And most of the time, I have almost proven that women have trouble dealing with men that are not as smart as they are, while at the same time saying women are smarter than men. For like, it's the most insane thing I've ever experienced, right? A woman will tell you women are smarter than men, right? But they will also tell you, I don't want to be smarter than my man. Because you know why? Because if you're smarter than your man, then you should be the one making the money. You should be the one doing all the stuff, right? But then that would put you in a leadership role. But because women don't necessarily want the leadership role, y'all want the benefits. Y'all want the benefits of being the leader in America. Y'all don't want the benefits of being the leader on that island that I just showed y'all. But listen, we all gonna take a trip there. Oh, I wish we could take a trip there. Woo-wee. I would love for us to take a trip right there. I'm not gonna lie. I would get so excited. I promise you, it'd be the best trip we'd ever take. And I want to take B Rose. Yes, B Rose. But B Rose, as it is customary, you got to pay for the plane tickets. Since we go into a matriarchy, B Rose is only right that you pay for our tickets, and then we gonna get on the boat, and then we can't actually use a motorboat because if you've seen the video, they didn't have motorboats. They had those little wooden paddles, so we got to paddle our way to the island, right? Then we're gonna go there and we're gonna experience what the life is like out there, B Rose. And then when you say, Aaron, I need to go to the bathroom, and I say, B Rose, it's a tree right there. No, not that tree. That's the tree of protection. That is the tree of protection, not that tree. B Rose, just that tree right there. Aaron, no, I can't do that. No, I can't. I need a bathroom. I need a door that closes. Not over here. Not over here. No, no, no. And ultimately, what would happen? B Rose would go, can we go back to America? Can we go back to America where all the nice land is and all them nice houses? Oh, yes. I would agree 100%. She would then pass. Okay. Now, since we're all in agreement that this is what it is, this matriarchy, patriarchy is just YouTube talking points, back and forth, arguing, all the fun stuff. Women are not going to actually go create their own matriarchy. Since we moved past this, I want to get to the next part of the show. B-Roll says, I dig a hole and call it a day, sir. I don't think so. Okay, B-Rose, would you be able to live on that island? Would you be able to live on the island? I'm curious now. Because I'm going to be honest with you. I ain't trying to live on that island. I like what the men have built around here. I'm extremely excited. I like what they built around here. Thank you to the great men that came before. Thank you so much for all the great work. I ain't trying to go there. So thank you to the great men that was built before us. Now, what I want to get to is this. The first thing I want to get to is this. Now, I want to let y'all know it's a lot of changes that's happening. And y'all not about to like all the changes, but the very first change that I want to talk about, because I got through this matriarch, is this. See, I want to talk about this right here. You see it? California Assembly passes bill banning toxic chemicals in the hot Cheetos, Skittles, hot tamales, and more. You know what that means? That means no more hot Cheetos for you, ladies. No more dyeing y'all hair hot red Cheeto red, okay? Y'all can't have no more if y'all come to California. And little by little, yeah, that's right, B Rose. I know you love hot Cheetos. I can see you licking your fingers right now with the hot Cheetos. I can see you. No more. And the Skittles is gone. Oh yeah, hot tamales. Everything gotta go. Because we gotta make changes, right? Now, B Rose, because I love me some B Rose. Everybody knows that. One thing I want to acknowledge about women is when they do start to take a level of power, authority, leadership, and accountability. Power, authority, leadership, and accountability is very, very important, okay? It's pretty important, and I want to highlight that. Hey, Lindsay. Lindsay says, Aaron, this is for your hard work. You think I insult you, but I like you. Peace and respect. Lindsay, I don't think you insulted me. Lindsay, you were arguing with other people in a chat. I know my people. I know what you think about me. I know how you feel about me. I don't get confused just because you say your opinion that means you have a level of dislike for me, because what you may think about this particular thing could be true, but you might really appreciate and like other things, and I wouldn't be confused by that. Multiple things can be true. So I'm never confused. You were mainly arguing with people in the chat because I didn't have an issue with anything you said. I wasn't upset. Now, it is a show, and I might highlight something and make a comparison, but I definitely don't get mad, and I want everybody to have their personal opinions, their different views, because we think differently. And I also know that's just one point. But it's hard to stick to that point if I decide I want to destroy it. I pick my spots, okay? Y'all see what I do? People mess with me. I might have to pick a hole and destroy their whole story. But other than that, it's all love. It's all love, Lindsay. Thank you. But I want to get to this conversation about leadership. I'm actually very, very impressed by this particular woman at this moment who is trying to take a level of accountability in leadership. Because I had this conversation, well, not the exact conversation, but a similar conversation that kind of bleed over to welfare and Section 8 and things like that for a reason, right? I had it recently, Sunday. It would have been either Saturday or Sunday, right? And this is very important. It's my third bottle of water for this show. I don't know how many water I'm going to go through. But this is very important to me. Because this is the first time I've seen a woman in authority, in leadership, speak like this for a long time. There are other places like that. There was this, was it a DA in Atlanta to where she said, we gonna prosecute their lyrics and lock them up. I was an avid support of that. A lot of men was like, nah, that's their free speech. I don't care. If we think optics hurt, if we think women in the industry being all promiscuous and all this, then it's fair to say that men rapping certain lyrics influencing people is a negative. I would agree. I have no problem with that DA trying to lock him up. As long as she can figure out how to get it within the law, I'm with it. And if you got to change laws and things like that, with it too. So I like to see that level of leadership, right? So let me close this out and pull up this particular video. Let me close this out. Is it this one? Yes, it is this one. This is the video that I want, guys. This is the video that I want, right? Now, welcome to San Francisco.
So Kristen Mayor London Breed says her proposal is part of a plan to hold people accountable if they receive welfare payments from the county of San Francisco. Now, as part of the program, people who get cash assistance and are drug users would not be eligible to receive cash payments in the future if they refuse drug screening or treatment.
Now, me and Jay Prince were having a conversation about benefits, welfare, Section 8, etc. It all got bunched up, right? It just so happened that the mayor of San Francisco, who's been on the hot seat, let's be clear, she's been on the hot seat because businesses are shutting down CVS's, Walgreens, Targets, mom and pop stores, smaller businesses, real estate is having issues in certain areas, not the single family homes, not those, but when you look at the office spaces and things like that, it is a big problem. We're having tourism issues. All kind of stuff is hitting San Francisco like a brick, right? Now, I got a lot of pushback from people when I talked about how much I dislike the whole process of Section 8. I didn't even get a chance to veer off into welfare and things like that because the show was coming to an end, and I don't want to start a whole segment knowing that the show was going to end soon, and I don't have the energy to force. I had already pushed that show way past the time slotted just because it was a good conversation and I don't want to stop it, right? But ultimately, this is a conversation that I do not mind having with people. But honestly, the mayor says, I want to hold people accountable. This is the first firm form of action in which we need to start holding people accountable. And you're going to find out why I agree with what she's saying and why some people disagree.
I think it's a good idea.
Craig Johnson and Cedric Akbal both recovered from substance abuse addiction. They started Positive Directions, a program that's helped thousands of San Franciscans recover from substance abuse.
So that is key to this conversation. Point one, the men highlighted there have started an actual program in which those men, right, are actually recoverers. They recover from the substance abuse. They're clean now, and they are assisting thousands of other people to get clean and recover. So what that means is she's not just speaking to speak. She's actually talking to the people that was impacted by it. Those people told her, hey, I got clean and I changed my life, because while I was on those drugs, I couldn't get the control over my life that I needed to make an effective change, to become an effective member of society. Because while I'm on drugs, I am beholden to the next high. I am beholden to someone that can hold that over my head to control me. I became free of that slavery once I got myself clean, and I was able to participate in society. I'm able to help other people. I have now a purpose. I have a purpose now. So these are key conversations.
Both men support Mayor London Breed's proposal to make people go through drug screening and treatment if they get cash assistance.
Now, remember, she's proposing drug screening if they get cash assistance. Now, that means there are programs that give you cash assistance. Now, here's the key point, right? Because me and other people were going back and forth, the Section 8, the welfare, etc. Now, welfare programs, some people believe that they only exist if you have children. But the problem is welfare programs are expanded all the time. We just directly associated welfare with children. But the whole concept is welfare programs have expanded things in other areas. Because think about it. A homeless person getting cash assistance is part of a welfare plan. It is not child support or child care welfare, but an extension of some type of plan where they allocate funds for that, right? So here's the key. If you're getting cash assistance, you are going to have to follow a criteria, follow some rules. You're going to have to actually qualify. Kind of makes sense now, huh? Or do you think people should be given free money with no no requirements, right? Do you think they should be doing it? Because I don't.
San Francisco County.
I think what she's just really doing is to motivate people to seek treatment.
Right now, 5,200 homeless or formerly homeless people in San Francisco get cash assistance from the County Adult Assistance Program, or CAP. On average, people can get about $697 a month. The mayor and others are.
Now, that's the first time that I actually heard a number. Now, they said on average, a person can get $657 a month by being part of this cash assistance program through some level of a welfare program, right? Not the ones for the kids, but some level through a welfare program, right? Callie Bev, don't start. Don't start. There are not enough requirements. I'll say that. There are not enough requirements, into which I personally think there should be more requirements. Now, yes, there are some eligibility requirements, right? But as far as once you're on a program, sustaining all this, I don't know, Callie Bev. Every state and city can be different. I would say, what requirements do you think most of these homeless people would need to get that kind of cash assistance? Or some of these people on these programs, what requirements do you think they're actually going to like how difficult of it actually is? I don't know.
Argue that money often gets used for drugs because it's not being tracked. She wants to change that.
But no more anything goes without accountability. No more handouts without accountability.
Look, no more handouts without accountability. I'm going to have to rewind that just a little bit, okay? Just a little bit.
And others argue that money often gets used for drugs because it's not being tracked.
Now, I'm going to say the uncomfortable thing. Mr. Research, you have to verify it on screen so I know you are. But I'm going to say the uncomfortable thing. A lot of this money does go to drug users. It is what it is. A lot of this money goes to drug users. It is what it is. Okay, Mr. Research, I got you, brother. Thank you. But it does go to drug use. And it is what it is. A lot of people in the projects use a lot of drugs. I'm not saying they're the only ones. I'm saying the government is giving them money to get high, and it's not tracked and then they still gonna give you your food stamps and all that, or whatever they call. I don't even know these programs because I'm not in it, but they're gonna give you all that kind of stuff too. But to get high ultimately is what happens. Let's just be honest. Whenever you have a bunch of people, especially I wouldn't even say lower income people, but this is what they're doing with a lot of the money. They're using it to get high. Let's just be honest.
Wants to change that.
But no more anything goes without accountability. No more handouts without accountability. So in order to get resources from our city, you will need to be in a substance use disorder program and consistently seeking treatment.
Right now.
Yeah. So you know how like the stimulus package was going out and everybody was getting that high. You got your stimulus? Yeah, I got my stimulus. Oh, I'm about to buy some J's. I'm about to buy the 50-inch screen TVs. Oh, this stimulus money is crazy. Some people buying Lambos. Some people buying mansions with their stimulus money. We all just don't know what happened to some of them. These people, as she is saying, the joyride needs to come to an end. No more of this free money without actually tracking. None of y'all not actually doing anything. You need to be on a process to get clean, to contribute to society. We are not going to pay you to get high. Like, that's crazy. Like, what do the rest of us need to go to work for and contribute to a lot of these things that help build society? If they can just pay to get high and sleep outside, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'm this close to wanting to sleep outside because mom's almost kicked me out the other night. She like I was making too much noise on my live stream. She almost kicked me out. I said, Mom, just my basement. It's my basement. All right. So I'm just going to be honest with you. I think she owned or something.
Some of the people who get cash help from the county admit they are drug addicts.
About 20% of individuals who receive county assistance have self-declared that they have a substance use disorder.
Listen, this is important. About 20% have declared that they get or that they have a drug problem. I'm going to be honest with you. That number is very low. That number is extremely low. I personally believe it is way higher than 20%.
So I'm so glad you have the courage to have these conversations, because what happens a lot of times, people get stuck in this fantasy talk of what they believe to be true. But what you're doing is digging into the details. So I'm from the Bay Area. Let me quickly break it down. If black men, and mind you, I don't even bring women into this. If black men really wanted this stuff to be different, when Jimmy Carter passed his Welfare Reform Act in 1979, putting a black man in the home, yes, I said it, that was his actual policy. Black men should have backed that. The problem is, in this age after Obama, this is the first time we're getting more and more and more black men who are actually reading bills and reading policy. If I tell you that Jimmy Carter passed more policy for black folks than you realize, you'd be like, oh, man, he on some bull. But let me give you the most famous one, the 1979 welfare. It took the one parent in the home and said, in order to get a check, 2 parents. Ain't that what a lot of black men wanted? And it went for 3.5 years. But guess what? Black men love TV, and the TV said Jimmy Carter was terrible. And without any evidence, they voted Reagan in, and Reagan put it back to a one parent. Him and a woman named Margaret Hessler. Notice I'm dropping names. I ain't just giving a speech on Fantasy Talk. So as we come today, people don't realize Mitch McConnell passed a whole law under Trump's presidency while he was in Congress to be kind to the fentanyl people, to be understanding to the meth folks. That's an actual policy. That ain't me making it up, just trying to be heard by Aaron. That's an actual policy. They didn't do that for the crack cocaine people. When Ronald Reagan was doing Air America, another policy. So I'm going to end by saying this, and I get a microphone back to you. In San Francisco specifically, ever since Ms. Breedlove came through, she's been trying not to be an a-hole. She's been trying. But tech in the Bay Area has been larger and larger, taking more and more, not wanting to pay their taxes, not wanting to do this, not want to do that. So now guess what? We going back to the 1980 Bay Area where homeless people going to start getting locked up. And you speaking from a person who been homeless twice, but I never thought to get a tent. I got back on the broom and I got back at it. These people, unfortunately, going to have to get locked up. They're gonna have to sit down for a while because they out here burning stuff, stealing stuff, hopping your fence 3 a.m. in the morning just to steal your bicycle, and they already got 59 bicycles at their little camp. It's gonna have to stop. So when you start seeing people be heartless toward the homeless, think about this Aaron live stream and say, hey, we had to do something because you can't keep it going the way it's going.
Yeah, I think ultimately I don't agree with a lot of stuff that Ms. Breed has done. Under her leadership we've had a really, really difficult time, but I do think this is a step in the right direction as far as becoming that when we say a-hole. You know how like when men say things, they're assertive and that's very masculine. We applaud it, but when a woman says something, she's more like I don't know the exact word to use, but she's not appreciated the same way for saying the exact same thing a man would do, right? So ultimately, this is one of the better things I see her trying to push towards, because realistically, right, most of these kids that come from these underserved communities, right, and I don't even care about it racially, their parents are drug addicts. They're on drugs. Those parents are night and day different type of parents when they're not on drugs. You can see how the children get a different experience from their own family when they're not dealing with drugs and with their moms and dads being high and things like that. The children get a different opportunity, even if they're living in a lower income housing or things like that. Just the fact that your parents are not high and on drugs gives you so much more opportunity because they're able to assist you even at the lowest level to get some form of ability to get higher and higher to the next level. But when they're on drugs and high all the time, what you're not going to see is any productive parents, any people that are trying to actually come out of that state. And so this is a bump in the right direction as we try to get a hold of this insane crisis. And let's be honest, drugs are an issue. As somebody that's not a non-drug user, a non-alcohol user, I'm probably a little bit more stringent on it because I don't use any of this stuff. And I know some people would like to say, well, Hollywood people get high all the time. Well, they ain't getting supplied by the government with funds for them to get high with typically, okay?
Disorder.
The executive director of SF Human Services Agency believes that number is actually higher.
Mm-hmm. The Department of Homelessness and Supportive Housing did a survey in 2022, along with their homeless count, where 52% of homeless individuals surveyed self-disclosed that they had a substance use disorder.
Supervisor Matt Dorsey stands by the proposal.
I believe it will better incentivize treatment and recovery for a population that is at wildly disproportionate risk for drug addiction and drug overdose fatalities.
We heard from several people who oppose the proposition. Board of Supervisors President Aaron Peskin released a statement saying Breed should focus on stopping dealers.
Oh my. If you've ever seen people, their body is just shut down. They're hunched over, barely can walk. You almost are. There used to be a time when you was homeless and they didn't automatically default you as a drug addict. We've got to the point now, if someone says I'm homeless, we automatically think they're a drug addict. That's how far we have either devolved or evolved into something. Something essentially must be done because this crisis is beyond, I don't know if it's beyond repair, but we got to make some attempts at it. We have to do something.
30 seconds. This is an easy thing to fix. What I first do, I would double tax the tech industry that's out there. Hey, if you have a tech company, no more not paying your taxes for 8 years and 14 years, I am going to hit you in the pocket because you have been taking advantage of Silicon Valley. You need to kick in. Number two, I create a secondary toll booth for the South San Francisco and leaving, going back into the East Bay. Oh yeah. Because look, if I need these extra funds, I need these extra funds. I'm not going to take it out the homeowner. So you need that work. You coming from Concord to work in San Francisco and get that San Francisco money? Guess what? I'm gonna hit you coming in. I'm gonna hit you going out. You can hate it all you want to. Well, last point.
Yeah.
And even if you don't like none of that, if I do the funds and take the people off the street, now I have to work with the prosecutor and take the pressure off him and say, I, as Breedlove, am telling the prosecutor to double either the fines or the time and let the convicted person decide which one they want to do. Because you're not going to be robbing stuff. You're not going to be sleeping out there. You're going to have a choice. You're going to either pay the fine or do the time. You go back out and do the same thing, then you must want to be in jail, and we're going to have to do that. That's the only way to clean that up.
Well, I disagree with a whole lot of that. I don't believe taxing the rich is going to work. I haven't seen anywhere where it's been proven to be effective. Ultimately, misappropriation of funds tends to be more of the issue, or allocation thereof. Nobody's been able to successfully tax the rich because they know how to use the tax code better than anybody. And if you do put them in a stranglehold, they will then just move their business, which will then bankrupt your cities typically. So ultimately, that I don't know if that's a solution to this particular problem, because I don't know what giving money would do to assist drug addicts. I don't understand why you think taxing rich people would.
Okay, here's why. Because generally, if your companies move, you go back to the levels that you were before the company started there. So that's not neither here nor there mathematically.
Okay.
The second thing is, we're talking about extra funds. I've been in politics since Eazy went into the White House and had dinner with 41. So I'm talking about how the process of politics works. You need these extra funds to make these moves. Lastly, give the microphone back to you. What I'm saying is that in order to affect change upon this culture that has been developed, you cannot have start and stop money. You have to have money coming in so that you can deal with this mountain that is this homeless and everything epidemic. If you go after the dealers, as this video say, yes, you can do that, because most of the dealers are the people who own shops. Little known fact, most of the crime crews are people who own shops. You'll see them hanging out in front. They dealing. So I say all that to say this: there is a culture shift that you're going to have to implement, and it does involve taking a person who's lying there on the street, picking them up, putting them in the van, and have the prosecutor put them in the system and decide, hey, you're going to pay a $500 fine, or you're going to do 200 days. Which one you want to do? And I'm going to tell you, the person that does the 200 days still getting a hot meal and sleeping. They still getting it, but you start seeing less and less of them on the block. Now, lastly, for the remaining people, you start hitting them with criminal things. When people are out there doing criminal things, even if it's just urinating, that's not $100 fine no more. We're kicking that up to $500. I don't want to hear people be upset at it, because you need to stop it. But you could do you could pay the 500, or you can do 150 days, whichever one you want. But we need a process that corrects the culture. Politics is about culture, and we have a culture of homelessness and drugs in the tenderloin, and you need something to break it, another policy to break it.
Let me get through the rest of this video, then we'll reconvene.
And open-air drug markets rather than drug testing people on welfare. He said, quote, "If she can't find the way to prevent several hundred brazen criminals from selling deadly drugs, how does she think she will find the resources to drug test thousands of welfare recipients?"
The mayor says the goal of this proposal is to get more people into treatment. This initiative will now go to the Board of Supervisors.
So, yeah, okay, I'm going to end it there. So ultimately, if you can't stop drug dealers, why do you think? Listen, let me tell you this, right? People don't like this, right? But this is the truth, like it or not. There's nothing a drug dealer can do to sell me drugs. I don't use them. So the accountability is on me. They can just have something in which I would like to acquire, but they cannot sell. They can have a whole, I got a whole inventory in here. Nope, don't want it, don't need it. So you can't sell to somebody who does not want it. So ultimately, I don't see the drug dealers as the problem. I see the drug users as a problem. And this is going to piss some people off because, give you the example, right? If I walk into a store and they have 1,000 purses for sale, I don't want any purses. I'm not buying any purses. Nothing that salesperson can come there and say to me, oh, by the way, you buy this purse. No. The drug people want to use it. The drug dealers only exist because they have an audience. Now, this can get ugly because I understand the science of it. When you're addicted to something, that's a very difficult thing for you to fight off. And most people never do. Most people be on drugs, they own drugs forever. Some form of it, right? So if you used to be on heroin, used to be on a heavy drug, you might come down to a low level and you might just try to smoke weed to fix the habit. You might, but realistically, most people never ever make it through, in my opinion. MC says, even though I think voting is fake and gray, to affect real change only happens at the local level. Weed is legal in 20 states. Yeah, I mean, I don't use that either, so it would have no effect on me at all.
So, I totally get what you're saying and what some people in the audience stand, especially people in the chat. You don't understand how this political process works. I get it. But let me put it down in a street level. In order for you to change anything, you have to create a competing thing. Otherwise, it just organically keeps going. So to Aaron's credit, he's saying, hey, the drug user. Okay, let's remove the drug user. The problem with that is people still end up getting hooked because the party scene creates 25% of your drug people through spiking drinks, slipping people stuff. Some of your friends will sit up here and get you addicted to stuff. Ha ha ha, that's heroin. So let's not even call it 25, 20%, 2 out of 10 of those people are still going to be back out in the tenderloin like that. My point is, you're going to have to do something real uncomfortable. You're going to have to go to that darn prosecutor's office, and you're going to have to stand there and shake his hand and say, yeah, let's drill him. And it's going to have to be known that if you sit out here and do X, here's what happened. For the dope dealer, all we need to do is pop maybe 20 of them. And then the word's going to get around. Hey, they serious over here. You do a little bit of blah, blah, blah. You get an instant 3-5 years. Lastly, retail thefts. Why is that only a couple of weeks in jail? Why do you do longer for driving on a suspended license than you do for walking to a Walgreens and stealing something? Why do you do a year plus for not having no insurance? Why is that? Because the prosecutor goes after money crimes. What I'll do is flip it and say, hey, you doing retail thefts? You doing 3 years minimum off rip. And I'm letting it be known publicly, and I'm going to stand on it. Not because I want to hurt people, because I want to change culture and get everybody aware. Hey, you better not go to San Francisco and do X. They giving out time.
Well, I see you've been alive a little bit longer than me, so you've experienced things I haven't experienced. You have some insight on things that I don't have a lot of insight on. I will say this. I don't think necessarily harsher penalties may be worth it. I think the reason why they don't do a lot of time is, from what I've noticed, is there's a political cycle. So, for example, if you're running for district attorney, things like that, you may say, oh, we over-criminalized somebody in this area. We had a bunch of people locked up for violent list crimes. They weren't even violent. We just locked them up. We over prosecuted that, and we're going to stop that. So they're going to lower the crime penalties for these particular things, and then they're going to over prosecute something else, right? I call it the political I would call seesaw. It's up and down. Once that happens, everything goes bad, right? You get people upset with what's going on. Hey, they're robbing stores and stuff like that. When those people were just upset with you for putting them in jail for 2 years for stealing food and things from these stores, now you have them so angry again that a new person that's running will say, I'm going to be harsher on crime. I'm going to give them real prompt, just like you. And then they'll vote for them. I think it's political. So I think they're one and the same. Somebody that's going into office will claim that we over prosecuted, and then somebody that left, then somebody else coming in says we didn't prosecute enough, and it's the same cycle. That's what I've noticed.
I totally agree, but please understand, especially people in the chat room, all things are political. What is politics? It is one group organizing to work against individuals. Let me say it one more time. It's just one group on the streets, on the block, these dope dealers over here working against the dope dealers who are not banding together. These pimps over here working against the individual prostitutes with no protection. That's all politics is. So if Aaron and I come up with $40 million each and we put a referendum on the voting block for 2025, I don't care if you don't believe in voting. If me and Aaron get that pass, I guarantee that policy starts to affect you and you'll be like, what the hell is this? This ain't fair. That's politics. And the quicker we as a Black community start understanding this unicorn fantasy way of looking at power ain't in your mouth and throat. It's you getting a lobbyist and getting something done if you don't like it. Lastly, when we come back to this thing about what's happening with the homeless. I've been homeless twice. I'm gonna tell you, there's 3 types of homeless people: the people that's trying to get back on their feet, the people that have no friends or family structure to help them mentally, and then there's the people who have given up in such a way that they just want to be part of this new existence called homelessness. So I can't save that last person. I definitely can save the first person. So you know another policy I passed? Because like you said, I don't want to just hurt people. If you hire one of our people who willing to get, I call it the get a broom policy. If you hire one of our people who want to get a broom and get back on their feet, I will alleviate your unemployment taxes. A lot of people don't even know about that. If you hire one of our selected homeless people who trying to get back on their feet, I will take 10% off of your state taxes for your business for the year. See, those things are easy to fix because I understand the political game. But we can't, and this is out to the chat room, we can't just say them white folks and them people. It's about power. You do it on the block every day. You maneuver around power. The people who want to beat you up versus the people who want to shoot. You got to learn how to do it now that we're adults. Go ahead, Aaron.
Yeah, no doubt. Jabba says, correction, his name is Unhorse Lee. I forgot about that. Sorry about that, Jabba. Stop trolling me, okay? This is a serious conversation, okay? JJ Carvez says, we should be focused on the root causes of these issues, but the problem when digging for roots, you dig up corruption along the way. It's not political. It's a business.
30 seconds before you go to the next one.
Yeah,
he is absolutely correct. There's not enough Black men that I can bond with and buy a lobbyist. Do you know if I could go buy a lobbyist and put him in the Congress in San Francisco or the Congress in Oakland? I mean, just buy a lobbyist. Call it the Aaron O group. I don't care. And we'll sit up here and get so much done for our little group of 250 Black men. But guess what? We got too many people that just want to, that ain't fair. This ain't right. Let's go march. I hear you, but we all making money now. Time to dig into our pockets and do what the Native Americans do. And I'm going to end by saying this. Native Americans back in February got a whole child support system passed for them. So from Oklahoma to Oregon, it is stated white men can't say nothing to any of our tribesmen. They go through our child support system. You know why they did that? They took that casino money and they bought a lobbyist. Go ahead, Aaron.
That is interesting. I don't think we, but I think maybe the tide is starting to shift a little bit as far as belief in buying politics, because we probably don't believe a lot in the political system. I think that's one of the issues. I think ultimately the first solving of this addiction issue is probably something that has a small chance, because we've gone through cycles where we have high addiction, then addiction lower and high, so it's cyclical as well. I really just don't like politics. I have to read about some things. I have to be up to game on something, but I just can't stand politics because for most of us, we know the game is fixed. We can sit here and try to fight it. We can sit here and have some understanding, but most of us navigate the game. Some of us get in power positions where we can play, like be a real player, but most of us just navigating through life.
True.
And I think it's just better to identify the players and find a way where you fit in, because most of us is never going to have no real no power to actually affect this much change.
Well, until you create your own and have your own legacy, you're going to take it serious on that day, because what happens, unfortunately, groups look for individual milk cows. They look for individual milk cows and make butcher meat out of it. Who's the most powerful? If you take a dude that got 40 million in your neighborhood versus 8 families, who's the most powerful? Matter of fact, 8 families that only make 40,000 a year each.
Yeah, I would take the 8 families.
Right. So it's all about groups. Groups are going to dominate that $40 million guy. But in the Black community, we think about the guy with the money. He's really a factor. No, because in politics, in City Hall, I'm going to give it back to you, Aaron. In City Hall concept, those numbers, those voting numbers, or that referendum we put on the table, it makes that $40 million guy do what we want. The problem is we don't have enough Black people willing to do what the Chinese do every week. Chinese don't care about politics. They care about policy. And that's why they got so many policy things at their command.
Well, but for me, there's a lot of confusion about when we speak to certain communities, right? It's frustrating because I don't see this as a racial problem. I see this as a everybody problem, unless you're in a winning team. Like, unless your team is winning, because there are no Asian group of people where they don't deal with poverty. They have poor people in their group. We have poor people in our group. Every group got poor people. Every group got rich people. Group got middle class people. I don't know what the ultimate goal of distinguishing what Asian groups do in comparison to what Black groups do. Well, why is that a comparison?
Because respectfully, you're on the basketball court not recognizing that you don't have 4 other players. You're the only one without 4 other players. Everybody else looks like they're human and they're just playing basketball. But no, people have had a conversation before they even came to the court about how they're going to make this basketball game on today work. You're the one that's not realizing it, because you're thinking, well, I mean, of course, Chinese people don't get along. The Yellow River people don't get along with the Wuhan people. Wuhan people don't get, but that isn't how they come to it. They come to it like, hey, Mr. Filipino, you know I don't really like you. You know I think you basically a Mexican. But on today, when we step on this basketball court, we're going to work together. And in return, we're going to get half of the winnings, and we'll give you Filipinos 40% of the winnings. The other little 10% of the winnings is for the Black people we've hired to help us as we play this game.
What are they winning? Ultimately, like, what is it that they have that we want, or I don't understand that part.
Okay, so number one is imagery. So when you go to any Chinatown, it's their image. You don't see no African images like that. Ain't no Africa Town, ain't no things like that. So when they're putting up their image, they're putting up their writing. They're changing some of your streets and having your streets have additional verbiage in their language. They're making sure that their identity and image is prevalent for their children as they come of age. Africans are not doing that. African Americans are not doing that. Second thing is, let's take it to the Latins. Latins are making sure that they get contracts, city hall contracts, government contracts. You'll sit here, have a trade certification and the whole deal. Yet the person who got the contract is sitting up here hiring their people. I call it flag loyalty. They're hiring their people, not because the people are more skilled than Aaron, because they have a vested interest. It's happening so much. The EEC just launched a new program called Erase. That's people who are weaponizing the workforce and only hiring their people from their country. See, you're not recognizing respectfully that this is going on. But this is what these people are doing while they're smiling. These people are forming like Voltron. I don't hate them for it. We're the only ones said, you know, I'm just trying to be me. I'm just trying to live. And they said, oh, yeah, we need to take his position. We need to get him out of here. We need to get him fired. Last point. Over at one of the hospitals, sister been working there 20 years. Filipino man comes and tells her, hey, you got to get a certification. Why? The girl been doing it for 20 years. But, you know, in her arrogance, she just like, you know, I don't see the point. I run everything. I got all the... They fired her so fast, they forgot to get the codes to get into her computer. And they had to wipe her whole computer and lose thousands of dollars. But guess what? He wanted to bring his Filipino people in. And now they up in there in San Leandro. So I say all that to say that we want it to not be like that. But this is why their children get to walk into some things easier than our children, because people are not making a way. People are not making a way. They just doing what they need to do for them. And then when you turn around and Aaron's 40, you like, man, this is some bullshit. Why is this like this? You ain't been paying attention the whole time.
Yeah, you may see something that we're not seeing, but the younger people see individualism. Birth rates for every group of women is down. They not trying to have kids either. It don't matter what group their people are voting for. They don't care. The selfishness exists with all young people. They're focused on what they need to do for themselves. This is not groupthink for young people. You may be accurate in the groupthink for middle age and older people, but when young people, there is no groupthink. So whatever is occurring now won't occur then. Like, they not about to get together later. That's not how young people work.
Well, you know what? Hold on to that, because you might be right, but I want you to hold on to that and see if that's like I give it 7 years. 7 years from now, see if the people in your demographic, like, let's assume you 20, you don't have to say your age, but let's assume you're 20, and then when you hit 27, see if the Chinese people are still staying individual. See if the 27-year-old Italians are still staying individual. Those people are going to form like Voltron between 25 and 30. And you'll turn around and say like, whoa, what's going on? This wasn't like this when I was 20. That's because I haven't been paying attention. And normally, respectfully, even myself, brother, I didn't think I lived past 26. Mm-hmm. You know, I grew up in Acorn. So, you know, I definitely didn't think I lived past. I was out there gatting and shatting like everybody else. But once you get into this level of the game, you start seeing power like, golly, I didn't realize this was going on all this time. This is some bullshit.
Well, I'm from the city, so a lot of Asian people here. I talk to their parents all the time. Their kids are not getting married. The pressure that used to exist when you're 25 and left over, you being second generation and all the principles are dissipating slowly but surely. They can't even get their own sons to marry, their daughters to marry. They are foregoing children as well. They are pursuing careers. They're independent. They have feminism views as well. And that's one of the more stronger communities when you look back historically. They are getting broken down by this whole system as well. They are not free from it. They may look more put together because their previous generation was stronger. But if you look at the younger people, they are no different. Asian people, white people, black people, the young people are not the same as our previous generations. We are very much I don't want to necessarily say selfish, but we are not operating with groupthink. We're just not.
Like I said, I respect that. I just want to see how long it's going to hold because I work in medical. You're absolutely right. Now that we switch the conversation to married, you're absolutely right. They're not getting married. It's the Indians and Pakistanis doing that. So the Asian community is not doing that. I've gone to my third. I was in Emeryville at my third Pakistani woman or Indian woman, Black American man wedding. That's my third this year. Okay. These women are strategically walking up to incel guys who are in these industries making good money, saying, "Hey, how you doing? Let's go have coffee. Treat on me. Hey, how you doing? I brought you a sandwich." Hey, oh, they level of the pimp game is serious for India and Pakistan. Now, Asian, I give you that. Even a lot of Filipinos, I give you that. I go to a Filipino club over in your city, Raven. Shout out to a Raven Bar. So, but the level of the game is the same. Hey, how you doing? You dress nice. They trying to get somewhere. Lastly, my medical, I've worked in fertility. Sir, the amount of Asian women trying to have white babies for their white fiance is majority of what I see on a daily basis. Third attempt at pregnancy. Fourth attempt at pregnancy. Latinos, back to Asian female. Sir, people are strategically making these moves. So while you might be correct, because I want to meet you in the middle, that a lot of people in your demographic are not doing it, they just having fun. I want you to look up at the 34-year-olds and see if they're still holding that to be true. Because a lot of those 34-year-olds they are falling to family pressure. They are sitting up here, if not getting with another Asian, they're getting with that white guy. The Asian guy's getting with the white woman. The Asian guy's getting with the occasional black chick. People are forming these families, and everybody ain't in a house by themselves just going to work.
Well, we're gonna be watching this cycle because I do agree at the middle and upper people. Yes, they are definitely more together. I just talked to somebody, they've been married for 30 years. Talked to them today. And yes, but the 30 years, if you find somebody that's been married for 30 years that would be 50 or 60, your mind will be blown. Like, no, like most of these people have already been married for a long time out the game. Younger people are not utilizing that vehicle of marriage the same anymore. So that's one dynamic, right? Women don't look at their men as leaders and anymore. Women are actually ascending when you start to really dive deep. The younger women in specific, when you dive deep and see that they're starting to out earn men their age in their groups, you're going to see a nice, huge change. And that's not going to change, at least for a good amount of years. So I still see that dynamic being problematic for a lot of women because they don't know how to operate in the environment in which the majority of women are out earning the men. They are going to be so lost. They already frustrated to the point they're like, I'll just be single. So watching them navigate dealing with men that they're out earning, even substantially or whatever the case is, because women that are starting to make money are saying, I'm looking for a particular type of man, and I don't want his money to determine his character and this, and that. And all of these things are becoming problematic, especially over time. So I agree with you on the political aspect for older people, but I don't see politically savvy for younger people. I don't see you being able to put that in their minds. They just don't operate like that. Young people, Gen Z in particular, are not thinking like that, not moving like that, don't operate like that. And I don't think they ever actually will, even as they get older, because society is not gearing them to operate that way. So it's going to be interesting to watch play out. But as we stay more focused on the welfare aspect, do you believe slowly getting rid of or regulating these benefits closer will actually be a positive to society?
So I am from the hood, love the hood, foundational brother. But some things I say are very conservative. I am a Edmund Burke conservative. Edmund Burke is the one who created conservatism. I do not believe in racist Republicans. And with that said, most of these policies are Reagan policies. So virtually everything I hate, Reagan created. Afghanistan issue, Reagan. War on drugs, Reagan. Divorce, 80%, no fault divorce, Reagan. Tax code for single people, pretending to be head of household, Reagan. I can go on and on and on and on. So if we do change this welfare thing, as you said earlier, and I did scroll back before I came on, to where you have to be accountable in some form or fashion or show proof or things of that nature. Here in California, what did we do when we said to the women, you're going to have to not be on this welfare forever. You're going to have to get a job. You saw them go crazy and get mad, and they brought some beta brothers with them too, right? So that's what's going to happen if you do that to the system. We will survive. Women will just get better. But I want to put this in your ear, especially when you bring up young people. Notice how many young black women is taking over jobs that the young black boy used to get. A lot of these black women are not jobs. Oh, security, construction, warehouse. You see them all up in there. You go to a warehouse, you see that sister on the forklift. You go to the security. You see that girl that's can't chase nobody down, can barely write with a pen and paper. She doing it. And what is the boy doing? He's breaking into Gucci, stealing Gucci purses so he can sell them. So we got a problem. I think that come 30, 37 years old, as I predict, Aaron, if you remember this conversation, you're going to look around. Oh, shout out to the chat, trucking too. I forgot that. I think Aaron's going to look around at 37 years old and say, damn, Mr. Research was right. This is some bullshit. I thought these young people's going to stay like that. These people have flipped. And and my last point, I don't say it to try to be an a-hole or try to be right. This is a warning out of love. We can't talk about these unicorns and can't draw a map to where the unicorns are. I'm drawing you a map to where the stallions are, and they running free. You better grab you one so you have something before it gets cold.
So the thing you highlight is that you're seeing a lot of black women. Now, you're not overly familiar with me, but I'm not someone that's heavily hung up on race, right? It's not. I know it exists. I know there's groups. I know there's perspectives, but I'm not somebody that's heavily hung up on it. I do know that the black women, black men thing and all that type of stuff, but I don't give a damn what race a woman is for me. Don't matter. Wouldn't matter to me. Other things are way more important to me. But I understand the group think and group impact and all that other aspect, right? So I'm not limited. But when you say women are taking these jobs that black men used to take, what are you saying by that? Like, are you saying that that's going to cause animosity? Are you saying that that's going to cause relationship issues? Why are you highlighting that black women are getting jobs that black men used to get?
Because I'm talking power and economics. I'm not talking social and dating. I'm talking power and economics. If the black boy doesn't have the ability to leave high school like he used to in the days of the Union and go straight into a factory job making 60 and 70, what happens? When that black boy right now graduates Oakland High, what are his real options when he's competing against Aaron, me, and a bunch of other people? And 10% of the job the women have. The Pakistani, let's take it off of black, because, you know, the reason I bring up black is because this country runs off of skin politics, whether you like it or not. The Russian guy can come here tomorrow and just blend in the whiteness. He can leave the fields of Ukraine right now. If he gets stopped by a police officer ain't gonna say, hey, that's an accent. Where are you from? I'm gonna write that down. No, he's gonna put him down as white. The black guy from Morocco is gonna get put down as black. The Somali guy is gonna get that put down in black. So we got black infrastructure politics that run through this thing regardless. So my point is, the girl, let's call her Egyptian. She's taking these, she's in these male, what used to be male spaces more so than guys are in female spaces. Mathematically, you're going to have less places for that young boy to go. He's more inclined then to get it out the mud. And you're going to see more and more of that. But like I said,
I don't know if he knows he muted himself. See,
okay, yeah, I didn't. But go ahead, rock out.
You muted yourself. But you have to understand that things evolve. Jobs become more complex or overly simplified, meaning we can get a robot to do the jobs that somebody that just left high school. That's no longer the ground level. You must be overly competent to navigate in a world where a high school diploma is no longer sufficient enough for you to excel at a medium level. You have to then compete in the other arena, which is either education, build a business, but just going from high school to some of these trades, one, is twofold. One, they don't genuinely want to do it. They don't want the physical labor jobs because they saw their grandparents' hands all crunched together. They saw their grandmother might divorce him, take his pension. So they don't actually want those jobs. And a lot of the times they don't even know that they can get those jobs. That's part is true as well. But the real money is being really, really made because if you're women, the market is saying this is where the real money is. And a lot of guys are saying, all right, we have information. YouTube is out there. There's a lot more intelligent brothers. There's people that are able to express to us that, yo, we getting played. We might could make some money, but we make a little bit more money. We get our money away. It's a cycle. I got to work 70, 80, 90 hours. I can't enjoy my life. And so they don't like the way the game is played. So one thing men will do is quit or barely participate. And a lot of men are just quitting at high rates. They're not even participating in society at a lot. They're like, I'm cool. I'm good. I don't even want to do it. And so I don't know how we're not about to bring back no programs for high school graduates. Do you see that happening? Is that what you're trying to highlight? Because
well, I guarantee it's going to happen for certain demographic that's not urban. Certain demographic, because what they do, and again, this is politics. What they do is they take public funds, your dollars, your FICA dollars and my FICA dollars, and then they appropriate where that goes. If you, I, and the urban Asian person and the urban Latin person are not fighting for our zip code to get those dollars, then those dollars get scooped up as just sitting there, and they go get put in Piedmont or Nob Hill, where people are fighting for it. So I just think that sometimes these things are a wait and see process, especially for younger people, because I've been alive long enough, 46, to recognize that it's always people who are like, man, it's some bullshit. It's been going on for a long time. The only reason I know is because when I was over in Acorn, I used to chop it up with this OG who had a house. He was 24 years old with a full-blown, beautiful mini mansion house. And he used to give me so much City Hall game. And that's what got me to opening my eyes and seeing it, to where, oh, okay, this is why this happens this way. And other people start falling off because they're like, man, I ain't worried about that. I'm just existing. I'm just living. And that's cool until you hit 35 or 34, 36. Now the system is at your door fucking with you. And now you like, this shit ain't fair.
You might have a point, because at some point reality does hit you that you need to make a shift. But we don't it's a cold game because we don't have no systems in place for middle-aged people. We have programs for 18 and 26-year-olds. Those are the programs they're willing to develop. Once you get 30, they don't really tell you, hey, you can get in this program, we can transition you to another. They don't have no support there, right? So you kind of get stuck with either you find a way and you excel, or you just blend in with the rest of society and just mediocrely pass through. And that's what I've been noticing a lot. But I don't see young people wanting to get in those jobs. Young people are hybrid now. They want more control over their lives. So they're going to be doing a whole lot of these Uber Eats delivery jobs with another job and another. They were going to do 3 different jobs to generate money, but they're trying different things now. So
and ain't nothing wrong with that. But once again, how sustainable is it? I did 1 year of business school. And it ain't nothing but dope dealing at the end of the day during business school. But I did one year of business school. And the first thing they teach you is new money means nothing. That 3 to 5 year money is an illusion, because it's like a mixtape. Yeah, I can get you a million, but you won't have that million come year number 3, year number 7. You gotta make sure whatever move you make is sustainable. So the concept of young people making the moves they make, ain't nothing wrong with that. But please understand, net neutrality has passed 2 years ago. If they want to start charging you for this internet, what you gonna do? You guys are individuals, you're not married. If they pass another bill to say, hey, we're going to give tax breaks to married people, and we're going to time and 3/4 to single people, y'all not together. What you going to do? You're going to either passport out of here, or you're going to deal with it. So please understand, whatever's rocking now is cool, but please not pretend that they ain't going to hit nobody with nothing. And I'm going to use this as some great evidence, Aaron. Watch this uppercut. Watch out for this uppercut. Why do we have a policy that forces bartenders and waitresses not allowed to make minimum wage? If what I'm saying ain't true, why is there a policy that to this day, done in 1985, a waiter and a waitress are not allowed to make minimum wage? Because this country is a jealous country, and they will attack and go after anybody that ain't protecting themselves, young people included.
Now, I'm not familiar with that. When you say not allowed, you're saying if I owned a bar, I couldn't tell you what I'm willing to pay you per hour?
I'm telling you, if you go to any job in America and you apply as a waiter or a waitress, you will make half of what the McDonald's guys make.
That's a different statement. So I'm going to reiterate again. Are you telling me that I can't pay somebody what I want to pay them, and I have to pay them less than minimum wage, or that the laws allow me to pay them less than minimum wage?
I'm saying that you can pay a person what you will, but now you're going to have to pay the taxes at the rate higher than what you would normally pay, because they're not allowed to make minimum wage. So if you pay somebody a full minimum wage, you're going to have to pay the state as if you're paying 2 employees. You are not allowed to pay them that and still make it part of your income sheet. Now you can pay them under the table. Yeah, you could do that. But if you say, no, I refuse to listen to the government. If the guy at McDonald's is making $16, I'm gonna pay you $16. And guess what the IRS and your accountant is gonna say at the end of the year? Oh yeah, when you did that, so now that's a double rate. I mean, what are you talking about? No, yeah, because your records show that you paid JoJo 16. So the government is going to tax you as if that's 2 people. Man, that's some bullshit. My cousin worked for the IRS, and he said that's how it is. So they're not allowed to make that. So my point is that the government passed the law to make that happen because they was just jealous of seeing people pocket untaxed money. And I'm just saying the government is a funny monster, brother. In 5-10 years, you don't know what they're gonna pass against the citizen. Matter of fact, one more thing. Why is there a right to work act? Why is there a right to work act saying that that I need a policy as a business that stops people from forming a union if they legally choose to, And I need a policy that allows me to get rid of Aaron for any reason and still not get penalized. Hey, Aaron, your shoes are untied. That that's unsafe. I'll see you later. Why do you need a policy for that? One more, even NAFTA. Aaron wants to create a business in India, but he still wants to claim that he's an American, so don't tax him and hit him with a tariff. Huh? Aaron, you're going outside of America to create your business and you selling back to us. I'm going to tax you. No, please. Give me a policy called NAFTA, created by Reagan and put on steroids by Clinton, and allow me for just 4 years to get my business started overseas and sell back to y'all without hit. Now, Canada get taxed and, Mexico gets taxed, but me, I'm an American, but you don't have no American employees. Yeah, but I need this policy. And then that policy turns into 16 years of not being taxed, but selling back to America. These are the things that are going on under our nose when we're just walking through the world like la-di-da.
Yeah, I mean,
let me let you get back to your video, man. I'm glad to spend time with you. You seem like a well thought out brother, man. I'm gonna chop it up again with you. I gotta go do a conservative and liberal thing, debate thing. But
cool.
Yeah. Because I'm a conservative, and but I'm an Edmund Burke conservative. I'm not a Reaganite. But we gonna chop it up again, man. And to the chat room, I'm not trying to insult nobody. These are different ways of thinking. If you don't get no different ways of thinking, then everything's just going to be an echo chamber. It doesn't mean I'm right, but once you start researching some of the things I say, your opinions will start to fade away. Much love, Aaron. We'll catch you again, brother.
All right, brother. Appreciate you. He got some real interesting takes there. I don't know, man. I'm not. I don't know about this. I think ultimately the problem exists. This is probably what I'm looking at. The reason why we have to be harsher, and people are not going to like it, on policies that give benefits to lower income people is that the people that we say need the most help or that are bringing down the community tends to be those people. I'm not saying that's right or true. I'm saying those are the people that tend to be highlighted, right? You wouldn't say somebody that's living middle class, not getting government benefits is bringing down the community. You would say these people are in this environment. They are producing children. Those children are clearly becoming, because of their environment, they're leaning or having a tendency to commit crimes, whether for fun or for goods, etc. You don't tend to say the middle class families are the issue per se, even if they are. Visually, we see it as the lower class people are the issue. And I'm not saying that's right. I'm saying in order to fix that, right, in order to alleviate that, you need to give people an ability to evolve and to elevate from the lower class, which you can, which ultimately, in my humble opinion, I think you should be one of two things: upper class or poor. I think being middle class is dumb. And for anybody that's there, you need to exercise your ability to move fastly to get out of the middle class as soon as you absolutely can, because you are the one you're the horse that America literally rides for everything. People don't actually think about this, but I want you to realize this. The majority of Americans are the middle class. They are our biggest population. The poor communities are a minority population. The wealthy community is a minority population. Our majority population is middle class. They are the ones that have the worst outcome for two reasons. One, mentality, and two, they don't get no benefits. Now, there are no programs to support the middle class. They say they are, but most people are stuck unless they develop their own way out. When you are poor, they give you programs, they give you assistance, they give you pathways to move up. Now, they don't want you to move up to the upper class, but they want you to move from the lower class to the middle class so that they then can benefit off of you the most, right? And middle class people have this mentality that I just don't want to be poor no more. I ain't got to be rich, but I don't want to be poor no more. So I'm going to do just enough to where I ain't poor, but not enough to where I'm rich. Meaning you're going to do just enough to not qualify for any benefits that will allow your children to go to college without having certain support. And you're going to do not enough in order to excel. Middle class, the goal is to not stay there. So if you are in the middle class, please make it your life's goal to get to the upper class or go back to the lower class. Don't let them trick you with a life in which you think is better because you are not on welfare or programs. You're the actual one that they're taxing the most. And you're going to sit here and cry and say, well, how come these rich people don't pay their fair share of taxes? Because they're going to tax you. They come in for your money. Ultimately, all these new tax IRS members, they come in for the middle class. They know they can't beat the person with the high-powered lawyer and tax attorney and stuff like that. They know that. They know that they don't have to realize gains and they're trying to pass laws to where they can kind of tax you on unrealized gains. We'll see how that plays out. I think you're not going to beat them, but I'm willing to watch it play out. But ultimately, you have to realize your mind is going to be, let me work a few more hours. They're going to tax me on these few more hours and I'm going to just get by. And you're going to realize that the people in the upper class are going to say, let me just get some debt strategically. Maybe I will collateralize maybe an investment account or this particular thing so I can get all this debt for the free and not be taxed on it. And now because I have all this money, I can then place it in a vehicle that can generate me a return or put me in a place where I can increase my cash flow without being taxed at the rate that you're taxed at, because they want capital gains tax rates. That's what they want. They don't want the tax rates for labor. And ultimately, if you're in the middle class, you're normally generating one form of income, and that is one of the most heavily taxed income. You got to get to a point where you're getting capital gain tax rates and things like that. At some point, you have to strategize, say, I'm getting out of this middle class because I've been tricked. And the only people that has been truly tricked and the most enlightened people are the elite people and the poor people. Because the poor people, they got some smarts on them. They just haven't found a way to manipulate themselves until they win yet. But they smart enough and they do just enough to go to the line, go to jail, or just enough to edge that line to where they're like, dang, bro, you weren't doing nothing. And then I came up. And the middle class are afraid. Listen, let me just try this. Middle class people are afraid to break the rules. See, the rich, they gonna say, I'll pay my taxes when I want. This is why you keep seeing them say, I don't owe you that much in taxes. I'll pay you. We gonna negotiate. Middle class people are terrified to negotiate. They terrified to go to jail. Poor people like, I ain't tripping. I ain't got nothing anyway. I'm gonna take this risk. And rich people gonna play the game because they in win mode. Middle class is the game that they give you to trick you and keep you there because you the horse that they want to utilize to play their game. Remember, this is a game. This is a game, and we here to play to win. All right. So to me, this was a good show. I didn't want to have too much of a long show. I got to eat and all that good stuff. So shout out to everybody that supported the show. I hope y'all enjoyed the back and forth, the thoughts, things like that. We will approach these conversations again, as you all know, because it is controversial, some things. And I want to see these welfare laws, requirements start to take more hold, because I think just pushing people and trying to put them in a new direction starts to impact change, right? And with that, I bid you guys good night. I appreciate you guys for tuning in to the Aaron O Show. We're going to see you on the next one. Until then,